come on, Joe, sort this out, lads. They're saying they can hear us now. Guys, can you hear us? If you can hear us, please share the podcast. Might as well plug it in. Subscribe and share the podcast. Let's get the numbers up. Let's get people watching. It's on now, obviously, but before it wasn't. Guys, can you hear us, yeah?
Check 1, 2, 3.
Hello, hello.
I need the title of it. I'm dying.
Right, they're saying they can hear us now. Okay, so basically, I don't know how much of you guys heard what's been said. Obviously, we're joined by Kashif, Young Simba, aka Young Simba. He's got a YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. He does vlogs, vlogs, whatever you call him, mate. He's doing all of them pranks. He's got his own channel, growing it. So check him out. He's obviously a aspiring lawyer. He wants to help in human rights cases in and around the world, in the UK and around the world. So, guys, check it out. And obviously, we're here tonight to talk about marriage, finding a spouse. What is marriage? And let's just open the floor to a discussion on the first question I'm going to ask you guys. And obviously, I want your opinions on this. And Simba, we'll start with you. And let's see what you think and what you say and what your view is. When the word marriage is mentioned, what do you understand about marriage? If you was to, in 1 minute, explain to someone what marriage is. What is marriage in your understanding?
Personally, to myself, I think commitment for a lifetime. Someone that you share every moment. You know what I mean? Someone like that for the rest of your life. You're not going to be... You've got responsibilities and certain things that you can't do as if you weren't married. Like, say, like, for example...
Going out at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, stuff, stupid things like that. Well, when you're single type of thing, you can go do certain stuff. But when you're married, you got commitments and responsibilities. Again, you know that because you're married, obviously.
Only a week, Simba.
Yeah, but...
It's only been a week.
But yeah, it's one of those. It's a lifetime commitment, personally. Yeah.
Right, okay. And Didi?
Well, I'm going
Since you've
through
been married a week, so
yeah,
tell
I'm
us,
going through it now.
what is marriage in your eyes? What do you, before you got married and now that you're married, what's different?
Before I got married, to be honest,
What did you think marriage was?
I always seen it as like a partnership, being committed to just one person all the time, and I always seen it as a bit difficult, to be honest, before marriage to try to settle to one person, because generally as a person I'm a bit fidgety, and I'm a bit I don't even sit still for like more than 2 hours in one place. I like to move about.
I'm like that.
So I used to always think to myself, would I be able to settle with one person? But I've always had it in my head, the principle of being loyal though.
Okay.
Loyalty means a lot to me, and generally in life. So I've always had it that inshallah, when I do get married, which I am now, that I'm always going to be loyal, and that I will only get married to the person that I feel is right for me, and everyone else is happy about it.
All I'm going to say is one little tip. Get some conditioner because your ball's going to fall out soon.
You think so?
After a few years.
I got a full head of hair, mate. It's going to stay there.
I think the hair issue is genetic.
I think you're stressed. You know what?
No, man. I mean, genetically, Imam Adil's been married 4 years. I mean, a lot of you guys asking, where's Imam Adil? Where's Imam Adil? Where's Imam Adil? Imam Adil's coming on tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, he's going to be talking. He's going to be talking about married life. Obviously, today's not about married life. Today is about finding a spouse prior to married life, pre-married life.
Yep.
So pre-married life and then post and in married life is better. You know, Simba, you're not married, are you?
No.
I'm not married.
I had a fear
You've just been married.
I had a fear of what you asked me. I had a big fear of maybe letting you and mum find me one, if you know what I mean, or letting the Peer Sab take the control to find me one. I always had a fear of that. Now, will they find me the right one?
Why Peer Sab?
Why the fear though?
Just in case. Like,
why mention Peer Sab?
Well, because obviously sometimes as parents, I've heard of experiences where I've done the nikah of people where their parents have told me that we struggle to find a spouse for, my friend, for example, if it was my friend's nikah that I was doing, and then I'd ask them, alright, then how did it come about in the marriage? And
well, in this context, obviously in your context, is because of our extensive links within the religious field.
Yep.
We've extended and asked a third party, in this case, not necessarily a Peer Sab, but religious clergy, and said, look, you guys are in your communities. If you know of suitable compatible people to who we are, and this is who we are, then can you match us so we can go see?
And I think
So that's why the word or term here in this context, Peer Sahib, has come in, because I don't
thank you
want
for
people
that,
to
Imam.
think,
True.
you know, where, you know, Peer Sahab's way is the highway,
Yeah,
or,
true,
you know,
yeah,
that
yeah.
is the only way. It's not. Tonight's not about this is the only one way. People have to be broad when it comes to finding spouses. You know, but I'm gonna sit here and lay claim to the idea, because I've been looking for a while now, you know, in that sense. But we'll come to that and we can talk about that. And so it's important. So obviously, you know,
you
with
got to
your
be open
case,
as well. As me myself, I think the first couple of months when we were looking, to be honest, I'll be open now. I was a bit closed to the idea of allowing that to happen, if you know what I mean. Allowing it.
So you're saying you didn't trust me and Mum in
No, I wouldn't say
finding
that,
you.
No,
but why?
okay. Let's be honest. If I'm gonna be really honest here, let's bear it.
You said fear as well. Why?
Yeah. The
'Cause
fear is. Look, like the Japanese said, we all got three faces, and there's only one face that we all really know,
Okay.
right? And the person that you're gonna marry, ultimately, you're gonna reveal that face to that person. And even your mom and your brothers don't even know that person. So when you're looking for your own spouse and you start building your own relationships, so what do you do with that person, that girlfriend? And you build up that Romeo and Juliet relationship, don't you? And that's the thing that's in our head, let's be honest.
Yeah.
That when we're growing up, we want this fairy tale relationship, you know, the Romeo and Juliet, like I said, innit? So when it doesn't work out the way we've got it panned out in our heads, that is fear.
Yeah,
When it's something that you don't know what's going to happen.
The reason why we've got this Romeo and Juliet concept, or Majnu and Layla, you know, these love stories, Bollywood love stories, and these Hollywood, you know, movie stories in our head, is because that's what we've grown up to see, precisely Hollywood and Bollywood.
Yeah.
You know, we've grown up in schools and we've liked a girl and we've seen a girl and we found her attractive and we thought, yeah, you know, I'm gonna talk to her, and you know, and we thought, yeah, you know, I could spend my life not knowing anything, absolutely jack about what marriage is and responsibility of marriage is. But I like her.
Yeah.
Because I like her, I'm attracted to her, you know, I fancy her. I'm going to marry her. I'm going to grow up. So I'm going to commit to speaking to her. I'm going to commit to spending time with her, growing with her. So I'll go out with her. And it's not jais. It's not permissible. I mean, let's be clear. Islamically, it's not. But in the society we live in the cultural, you know, fabric of where we are in the United Kingdom, let's not lie and let's not, you know, dare I use the word bullshit this, you know, let's be real.
Yeah.
This is what's happening. And I'll tell you straight why we got Simba on was because I'm not saying he's got hundreds of girlfriends or anything like that, but he's a young lad who maybe has been there. And quite
Don't wink at me, bro. I'm married.
no,
Like,
like, I mean, obviously, you know, young lads your age are. Everyone thinks they're a Brad Pitt, man.
Yeah,
They all think they're
That's
good-looking
true,
lads
yeah.
your age.
Yeah.
You know, you're no different to
I'm humble.
my brother Mustafa, who's you know 19 years old, for example, and the girls think they're the Kardashians. They think, you know,
That's true.
we've got everything. and-
You said that's true to them.
They need to humble themselves sometimes.
no, but is it not happening? So you tell me. I mean, Didi's obviously opened up about how, and we'll come back to him again, of how it's been, and you know, this perception we've built, this mindset and mentality growing up that, oh, she's the perfect one waiting out there for us.
Yeah.
There's this one thing I want to add on.
And believe me, there is no perfection when it comes to this stuff. Because we were made imperfect. Human is made imperfect.
When I did say that, obviously, I didn't trust you initially, you, Mum, Imam, Adil, whoever was looking for me. When I did allow that trust within myself, when I told myself I'm going to trust my family now fully, 100% wholeheartedly, that's when I found my wife. I'm not trying to be all romantic here or nothing, but it's just the truth. It's just how it works, because end of the day, your family will only want what's best for you, because they love you deep down.
That's true.
My mum, my brothers, they see me going through what I was going through. They felt like I needed a partner. I can say now, they were right, because they can see visibly I've changed. I'm just smiling more, I'm just talking more, I'm a bit more.
Spending more time with us.
There you go, yeah, spending more time with everyone.
Loved up.
I don't know if I'm loved up or not. Yeah, well, I am loved up. You can't just deny it, because it just comes out, doesn't it? So, but they found that, and they know what was right for me. So,
as we call it now,
just as a point to everyone watching here, that
He's
you
a
should
simp
have some trust in your family. They always think best for you. They always know what's right for you, especially your mother. Your mother will never do anything what's wrong or against the son's wishes ultimately. So we should always trust our mother.
I'm gonna come back to that point, because I'm gonna play it from a different aspect.
Devil's
What
advocate.
if your mum forces you to go Pakistan
Uh,
emotionally?
I think
Did
then
mum try a bit of emotional blackmail on you?
I think then the son needs to summon up some courage. You know, I think we have this within our friends. Like we were just talking before the podcast started. I'm gonna be like, I'd be like this, and we have this, this perception that I won't listen to my mum. She can take me to Pakistan, and but when your mum does say it, a lot of us have the actual fear of actually speaking up against our parents, because we think it might be disrespect, but it's not. It's a massive moment of your life where you're gonna have to take a stand and.
But the way I look at it, Hafizab, is that me, you, Mama Dil, Mustafa, we've always had, let's be honest, a brilliant relationship with our parents.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, yeah.
I can share anything with my mum. Whether I choose to share that, that's my choice. Whether we choose that, that's our nature. Sometimes you're an introvert, sometimes you're an outrovert character. We're quite introverts, me and my brothers. Okay. We don't really open up in our personal lives in that sense. We're not massively open. But with our mum,
you are.
I can say, Mum, I want this car. I'll discuss it with her. I want to buy this house. I'll discuss it with her. I want to do this. There's been marriage proposals that have come to me, and I've openly told my mum, and she has been understanding. She understands in the position that I am.
You got to have that relationship.
But there's people out there, Simba, that don't have that with their parents. They cannot communicate to their dad. How can you not communicate to the man who brought you to the world?
Or they have a misconception or a perception that their dad will not listen to him anyway, so they don't want to even make
I
a
just
step of the
don't understand
conversation.
how kids can't talk to their parents. Like, this is what fundamentally that's the breakdown in our society. If I'm getting bullied, if I've got a problem, I should go to my old man and tell him, Dad, I'm going through this problem. Mum, I'm suffering from this. She might not do nothing for me, but I'll tell you what, she's the one who'll keep the biggest secrets.
Yeah.
And she will absorb. This is one woman who will take on the problems of 4 of her sons, each having separate issues and in separate parts of their lives and moments. This is what parents do, and we should be able to openly tell our mum and dad, I want to marry this girl. Will you consider it? What do you think? They should be like, okay, let's consider it. But I want you to marry this girl. Can you consider it? There should be a balance and a point where parents and children meet halfway. If your father's always in taxis and your mother's watching dramas and into her friends and just doing, and they have no time for kids, and there is a breakdown, and that's where the problems arise. Sometimes fundamentally just prior to marriage, then thereafter, and that's a huge issue. But Simba, you tell me, what do you think, B?
Personally, with me, right? Honestly, I see my mom as my best friend. I'm not just saying that as like a cliche thing. I genuinely do. Like, I'll sit there, stand there, go in the kitchen, whatever. I'll talk to her.
What if she wants you to marry someone that you don't want to marry?
Here's my point. Yesterday night, right? My mom said to me, just sat there.
Yesterday night,
we just basically talking.
Coincidental? Tonight you're telling us?
No, but it was one of those.
Go,
last night, right? We just sat there, I was just sat there. She says, "You got anyone?" I'll go, "No." I talk to a few people. I'm not gonna see a light here. I do talk to a few people.
People meaning you speak to a few
girls.
Okay,
not anymore.
But my mom, you know what? This with me. I don't care if you. I'd let you go on my phone now. I'll let you go on my phone now. I don't care. You can go on my Instagram, Snapchat, whatever. Okay. So my mom went on my Instagram yesterday. She went through my follow. She says, "You know what? Let me look for a girl for you." I'll go, fair dues. Go, you knock yourself out. So she's going through it. She's picking it out, and she's going, "What about her?" She's random people. Like, some people from like Bradford, Manchester, people from America, Australia, whatever. And she says, "What do you think of her? Let's get you married." Blah blah blah. Personally, I said, I'm not ready for it. I'm not. Even though to myself, I want to get married young, inshallah. But I don't think I'm ready for it yet because I want to get my studies.
I want to stop you there. What does that? I don't think I'm ready for it means. Everyone says that.
I mean in the sense that
everyone says.
I want to finish my studies first because with me, I get easily distracted.
But when you finish your studies, you're gonna say, "I want to start."
Oh no, I don't think like that. If I get my head on something, I'll do it like that.
Let's generalize this then. People do that though. Lads do that. I ain't got the time now. Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, but let me add another dimension to this. Is that the norm? Look, see, this society tells you, you grow up, you get an education. Once you're educated, you got some money, then get married.
Yeah.
I know guys who, I've had distant relatives of mine. One young lad. I mean, we can't mention no names on here, obviously for data protection reasons and confidentiality and etc.
Got you back.
But I know a young lad within our family who I think was 18 at the time, and he got married.
Yeah.
18 years old, he's not had an education, he's not working, nothing, but he felt he could take the responsibility on.
My friend did the same.
So there's no ages there.
No,
let's come to this agreement.
Yeah,
there is no age when it comes to marriage. Stop this, please, people. Stop this. These expectations of you have to be married at 25 or 30 or 35. Sometimes you don't have to.
That was another one.
Bishop Hafi never got married.
Oh,
Imam Nawawi never got married.
Never knew
and
that.
these are big timers. These are the big ulama of our ummah. They didn't get married. For whatever reasons, they did not get married. Age is a number. Yes, we all want to marry by 25 following the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. But then there's a lot of sunnahs of Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam that we don't follow.
Yeah.
So let's not compare ourselves there or measure ourselves to that. That is our yardstick ultimately in life. But in your own position and circumstance, you are saying that you are not ready yet to get married. As in, take the commitment of bringing a woman into your life that you will devote your entire life to and time to and build a partnership with, because you want to first complete your education. That is a priority right now. Yes?
Yeah. In a way, yeah. No, but again, if the right person came along, I'm not going to say, no, wait 2-3 years, because, again, pointless waiting 2-3 years. I'd say to my mom, dad, I found someone, blah, blah, blah. I think I like her, I want to marry her, blah, blah, blah. Get her family involved and all that. But I'm not in that position yet, so I can't. I talk to girls, but I've not spoken to a girl thinking, you know what? Yeah, she's the one that I'm spending the rest of my life with. It's one of those. It depends. You know,
but there's guys your age that are doing all that. Loads of guys are doing what you're doing, aren't they?
But then again, it comes back to they find the right person at the right time as well.
What about do you feel any pressures from society?
Oh, me, I personally
to settle down with one, and your age.
Listen to this, right? I said to my dad every so often. I said to my dad, you know what? I've got a plan in head. Obviously, I'm not going to do it. It's a joke. I said to my dad, right? Every 10 years, I can get married 4 times Islamically. Every 10 years, so at 25, I'll get married. 35, 45, 55, and I'll go to a different caste, different country, whatever, and I'll get married and keep them separated. And spend 3 months with them there, 3 months here. You know, that's it comes back to that relationship with your parents. Like my dad, I laugh with my dad.
Can we just put a disclaimer here? He's joking, guys.
I am joking.
Please don't take it serious. Tomorrow you'll edit this clip out and he'll go viral saying he's gonna do. No, he's absolutely joking.
Around the world.
He's having a laugh. He's trying to explain that he is open with his old man. He can have this joke with his dad.
Yeah.
Clearly, it's not.
Obviously,
it's not the case.
I don't advise
what
it.
you're saying is you can tell your dad.
Yeah, it's one of
and
those,
have this laugh with him.
Yeah, and I'll say to him, you know what, I'm
I
gonna
used to say it to my dad all the time.
Yeah, it's one of those. You got to have that relationship with your dad. Some people don't, like you said, they can't talk to their dad. Whereas me, I'm close to my mum. I'm close to my mum, but I still have that laugh with my dad. If it makes sense. So I'll say, you know what, I'm gonna bring you home. So one day I'm gonna bring you home mixed race kids or something like that. You know what? You always like mixed race kids or whatever. And you start smiling and we're laughing. And we say,
would you marry a mixed race girl? Somebody outside of our race?
I genuinely wouldn't mind.
Going back to my question, do you feel pressured by society to have like 5 birds instead of sticking to one? I'm gonna say like that. I need to be open. I need to.
You know what?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I know what you mean.
To stick to one is frowned upon nowadays by lads.
Loyalty.
Yeah.
Ain't the thing these days.
The little babies and the futures and the babies who are rapping now, who the rappers. Yeah. I know all of it. Don't worry, I'm into it. Yeah. They're all rapping about what we got one bird, and they don't use the word bird. They use with the H. And they end it with the E, and we got one, and that's how they're making us think of women now. So the first woman, she's not a woman, she's just an
Object.
Yeah.
And then I've ticked her off my list. I've got a Turkish one, and I've got an Asian one, and I've got a white one now. That's what society's making us do, go down the list of women, not to settle with one. So do you feel them pressures at your age and in your kind of circle of 20 to 25-year-olds being in that, you know, the influencer bubble kind of thing?
Of 15 to 25-year-olds.
Yeah, of sticking to one.
Personally, my own personal experience, I genuinely don't care. Like, I don't care. I'll talk to whoever I want, whenever I want, and people say stuff to me. I wouldn't care less, you know what? But again, I know people. I can't say I've got friends that do it, but I know certain people that'll say, you know what? They'll ask me to go, so who are you chatting to? You're chatting to bear girls, this and that, blah blah blah. I'll go, I don't know what you're on about. I'm just a nice guy. You know, if they talk to me, they talk to me. But I'm not gonna say, yeah, I chat to 1,000 girls, because I genuinely do not talk to about 5-6 girls at one time, because I find it wrong personally.
Or do you know?
I find it wrong personally. But again, I'm not gonna lie. I don't say I don't chat to 5-6 girls. I do, but in a friendly way. I don't do that saying, yo babes, how this, wow, when we linking this and that. I don't do that. Again,
Yeah, but everyone's friendly as well at the start. This is another thing.
No, but that's what-
is
No,
there
but-
anything?
Yeah, but you know what it is?
Is
You
that
know,
friendly
is
between a man and a girl?
hear this out. Like the other day, this is girl. She I put some on my story. And she not commented it. You know, them poll stuff or whatever. So I've said to her, thanks, blah blah blah, whatever. And she says, sorry, I don't know what you're on about. I don't text me or something like that. I'll go, I'm not trying to pull you or anything. If I wanted to pull you, I'd have pulled you, whatever, blah blah. I'm not being confident or anything, but
Easy now, Brad.
thing is, right? I said to her, can't a guy and a girl have a normal conversation?
No.
Well, that's what her answer was, and I'll go, did you see me put up a love heart emoji to say, yo, when we linking, blah blah
But they
blah?
can't. She's right. I agree with her. They can't.
But you know what? After that, she had an hour and a half conversation with me, because she knew I wasn't there to talk to her like that. And I said to her, you know what? I'll prove my point there to you.
Yeah, but then if you keep talking, it's gonna go to that, because you're gonna build a relationship. Then you
Well,
like
she had a
something that's
guy.
similar. If she had a guy and she's messaging you, that means she's open to having another guy.
She don't, you know.
She shouldn't even open your message. She's got a guy. That's I've always seen that. If a girl who's got a guy is reading your message and replying to you saying, I've got a guy, she's obviously clearly interested in taking on another guy. That's another discussion for another day. That's how the way women are.
Yeah, but
nowadays.
this is society, and you know this is wrong.
It's very wrong.
You know, we've got to say if you, little baby and all these little babies and all these guys out there, these rappers are. This is what this is projecting. Music has this influence over society. Youngsters, 18, 19, are listening to
whoever I say.
Tory Lanez and all these guys, and they're listening to them, and this is what they rap about. And this is then what's the mentality young people think, hey, I'm cool because I'm listening to this guy who doesn't know jack about me, and I don't know him, and I don't know nothing about him. But
Yeah, true.
this is the perception. Be real, man. You're
Yeah.
living in the real world. Get out of this bubble. Understand that if you like someone, you want to marry that someone, and you feel that someone's compatible to you, you want to take it to your parents, they agree with it, don't delay. Don't delay these things. Believe me, I've been there. I've delayed this stuff. And I'm sat here at 30 and I can't. I'm struggling now. And when I say I'm struggling, what do I mean by finding a compatible spouse?
Yeah.
The key word is compatibility. You know, when finding a spouse is finding somebody compatible to you. Now, let's bring Islam into this discussion. What does Islam say? The Prophet ﷺ told us that when you look for a woman, a spouse, or when a woman looks for a man, that there's 4 things you should look for in them. What should you look at? The status, the financial status, rank,
Yeah.
the beauty, and religion, character. There's 4 things that you need to look at. And this tells us that all 4 are important.
Yeah.
If you're a wealthy guy, it suits you to marry a wealthy girl. If you're a good-looking person, it suits you to marry a good-looking girl. You should sort of match here.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a case of a rich man marries a poor girl. Not that it doesn't work, but it's more compatible. You know, compatible marriage. In juristical terms, in Hanafi fiqh and in other fiqhs as well, schools, they have al-akfa'u lil-akfa. The Prophet ﷺ said, you know, compatibility, this type with this type. So it's better for you to marry that person because possibly whether that's caste reasons, race reasons, you know, there's that aspect to it.
Yeah.
But then living in the global world that we live in, global village that we live in, where everyone knows everyone, in the end is how your character links with someone is compatible. How do you find someone? Now, a huge part of today's day and age, society says that you need to make sure the girl you marry is good looking. We all want to marry someone who we find attractive. What's your definition of attractive?
Megan Fox.
No, that's okay, you're saying that's
Yeah.
an example. You're saying Megan Fox is a definition of attractive. She is naturally attractive. Okay. No hijab on, no morals. Morally, it's not the high standards of morals if they're wearing skirts and they're showing themselves, for example. I'm just breaking it down. Then there's somebody who looks and says, well, I want to marry someone like that who wears a hijab, who mashallah is good looking, etc.
Yeah.
What do you look for? What do you define as attractive? Is it character? What's attractive about a person? Is it a person's, being sensitive, down to earth, the humility in a person? Is it the caring aspect? Is it the humble aspect?
I'll answer it first because I've just gone through it. And I was looking for what he's talking about. I wanted someone to accept me. And that's the first thing I said to my wife the first ever time we spoke. I go, all I'm asking for you is just accept me who I am. And I told her my bad habits, I told her my good habits, and I was really honest with her. Like from the get-go, I was really, really honest with my wife, saying, this is how I am, I just want you to accept me. It's not, but I didn't say, I'm not going to change for you, and the bad habits I'll never change. I just said, look, this is how I am. I'm
right now, in this moment, this is how I am.
This is me, and just take me for me, and you watch, I'll promise and I told her, I promise you my best that I'll try keeping you happy then. I promise that I'll try my hardest to keep you happy. If you just accept me, that's all I wanted.
Yeah.
But I asked myself first before asking her, what do I really want? I needed to know myself what I really want. Do you know what
guys
I mean?
don't know what they want, man. The guys want what little baby's been saying that they need.
And
guys saying that they need this, but what do you actually need? What are you actually looking for?
Obviously, because
that's what our generation
Zen
is
died
confused.
and I went through the depression or whatever. I lost my job in NatWest. I got made redundant. I've been working in a warehouse or whatever. I've been down for money and everything was just going against me. So I just took a little moment, a week or something, and I think it's big just to reflect on yourself and be honest with yourself first and foremost.
Yeah.
Then you know what you're about. Ask yourself what you're about, what you want, what you really like, what really makes you tick. Then you'll know what to find in another person. Personally speaking, that's how I got to settle with my wife, and I was happy with her. That's what I wanted. That's what I find attractive, is someone accepting me and then supporting me, and me supporting them.
Yeah. But then
How about yourself, Simba?
But that comes back to my generation, my age group.
That's why we brought you here. We want to talk,
don't-
and people, please, let me just put a disclaimer here. Don't judge him. Don't say, how. I'll tell you straight now. There are very few imams who will actually sit and entertain or have this discussion.
Very true.
With real life problems. And honestly, Simba, I want you to tell us real life how there are problems, because I'm telling you, our generation is lost. Your generation is fully lost, I think. And there's very few left. Girls who are religious think they are super religious.
Yeah.
Girls who are models think they are supermodels.
Yeah.
They've got 40,000 followers. Nobody knows you, man. Live in the real world, grow up on that. And there's guys who think the gangsters are making money on that. And they're not gangsters. They are not the Al Capones of the time. We need to be real with ourselves. And we as imams, as ulama, as scholars, we need to be real.
Yeah.
These are real life issues. Honestly, I find that we need to talk about this. And I want people to share this. This is why I want people to share this. Because I don't see nobody talking about this. I don't see the clergy, the religious clergy. I don't see the youth. I don't see nothing happening or being said in this regard. And people are struggling out there, man. They're struggling out there because they're lost. They are absolutely lost. They are living in bubbles of fantasy that, I'm going to do this and I'm going to have this and I'm going to live this lovely life and, I'm going to be Ken and she's going to be Barbie and, it's not like that, man. Wake up, man. We've been, from childhood, we've been told that this is your Barbie and that.
Yeah.
You're looking for this Barbie doll and you are Ken and this is you and you've got to have muscles to, be seen as attractive and appealing.
It's true.
There's no appeal in that. You might like that. Appeal is you as a person. Appeal is intellectual maturity in that. Appeal is independence. Appeal is is being able to hold a conversation. Appeal is you can sit there and you can woo her because she's your wife.
Yeah.
Appeal is that you can sit your mum next to you and your dad and your wife next to you and your dad next to you and you can handle marriage. That's appealing.
Yeah.
That you're a man then when you can handle every aspect of it and not be under the thumb of your wife, or your wife is made to be, forced to be under your thumb, or I'm my mummy's boy and I don't care about my wife, or it's all about my wife and I don't care about my mum. There's no appeal in that. Appealing is that you are able to have compassion in your heart, be soft, be gentle. That's appealing. But today I just feel it's material. He's got to have car, he's got to have houses. I've gone to houses and the first thing they've asked about us, they got to my mum. This is real life, I'm not going to lie to you. Now, I've been through a lot of experience. This is ठीक है तुसां फिर तुसां ने पुत्र क्या करने हैं? So it's been arranged. So and so has told my mum, discuss with them. Before you turn up to the house, you make the phone call. They have a phone call conversation to break the ice, see how it is. And तुसां ने पुत्र क्या करने हैं? In our community, most people will know that I'm an imam, or this is my line of work, or my son's an imam. And yeah, but क्या परियाने क्या degree है ने? It's like the expectation is got to have a degree. Like, my question would be if it was my daughter, I would look that boy in the eye and that guy in the eye and you tell me straight, bro. Will you treat my daughter the way she needs to be treated as your wife? Because if you can't do it, I ain't going to marry my daughter off to you.
My father-in-law, that's the only thing he's asked me.
I don't care about your bank balance. I don't care about your looks. I don't care. Can you fulfill the rights of my daughter as your wife?
He actually took me outside.
How many future you can answer? How many future father-in-laws actually ask that question? I've never been asked that question.
When he came our house, he went out for a fag.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're older than know. And he called me out. I don't know if you remember. He goes, "Come with my son."
Yeah.
They called me out. And they asked me for a smoke. I said, "No." They go, "I just want to have a word with you. You're gonna treat her good." He goes, "I'm happy with you. I like your brothers. I like your mom. I like the family. I'm just need to have this conversation. That you're gonna treat her good. I go, I promise you I will." He goes, "Don't just say it for the sake." He was a real man though.
Yeah.
He
But
goes,
I
"That's my
respect
daughter."
him.
Yeah,
Honestly, I tell you.
And he looked me in the eyes. He goes, "Don't just say it to me just because you want to marry my daughter. Tell me the truth. Are you really gonna look after her?" And I looked him back in the eye. I goes, "I promise you, I'm gonna try my hardest to look after your daughter."
And I will say this on street terms: that guy is a G-man.
Straight up,
He is a proper G-man because I tell you what, he did not ask me. My father's passed away. My elder brother is my elder brother. He is my father, our father role.
Yeah.
But responsibility-wise, Mum has always said it's on my head. I took him to every 4 rishte before that rishta. This girl that he's married now, I took him to every single one.
Sorry for letting you know now, Ali.
And we sat there and we looked at these rishte and he says, no. I said, all right, we're not going to force you. But how many times are we going to do this, Hafiz Saab?
Yeah.
You're going to have to find one that you find. Look, he doesn't know that family from Adam.
Yeah.
This is another important point.
Yep.
The first way to perceive something as good is attraction.
Yeah.
Attraction is in the eye. Companion came and said, Yasser, I want to marry so-and-so girl. They said, have you seen her? Have you seen this girl? They said, no, but I've heard of the family. He says, go look at her. It is permissible for you to look at her if you're going to make her your wife. Look at her, and if it's right, you feel content, happy, do it. And the companion, look at, you have to have an attraction to the woman you marry. End of the day, you're going to have children with her. You're going to sleep with her. You're going to wake up to her. You're going to live your life with her.
True.
You know, a lot of guys fall out of love. How can you fall out of love, man? Love's pure. How can you fall out of love in that sense? So when we see this, and I took Hafiz Saab and I said it to him this time he walked in. I said, listen, and he'll remember this clearly. And because we, in our culture, 2 of you IMAH says, listen, you better stop messing around. Take a good look. If you like this family and this girl from the first time you see, then we will open this discussion and let's pursue this. He sat there, as he sits, just sat there, everything, come out and he goes, you know what? I want to give this a go. And then I'll tell you exactly what happened. So I'm going to give you 2 weeks to have a conversation with her, discuss with her, and have the preliminary build an understanding. If you feel this girl's right, then come back to us. Her family agreed. My family agreed. Within responsibility, within reason, what's permissible. He didn't meet her at all or anything.
Never.
Out of marriage, he's not done any of that.
We never spoke on the phone as well, like as a phone call.
It was just
Rated that.
email or text conversation, which was overseen by us. We knew, we know
Yeah.
he's not going to do nothing wrong in that sense. He's built understanding and he goes, you know what? I said to my mum, I says, ask him, is he ready for this and that? Does he feel he can have a future with this girl? And he goes, yeah. And I said, now, ask the girl's family. Because it's not just about my brother, this is her life as well.
Yeah.
So my mum's had the convo with her mum. Is your girl happy? She says, yeah. She's content. Says, right, set a date and let him get married now. Because the foundation, you know what's the fine line? You find a girl that you like, Simba. You're talking to 4 girls now. 5 girls, for example, whatever it may be.
All right.
You discuss with one, the other. When you've got 10 there,
Yeah.
you're confused.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. You're confused. You think, I'll keep my options open. 1, 2. There's 2 things about her like, 3 things about her like, 4 things I like. But there's these things. Why? Forget it. You find one and you think, okay, I like her. I'm going to see. And I'll tell you what, thereafter, you know what the devil does? The devil plays games with us. The devil plays serious games. Because, we cannot forget the influence of the devil and the nafs in this.
Yeah.
And I have been culprit, and all of us have been there. All these young lads, we've all seen it happen.
Every lad has been, let's just be real.
Let's be real in that, yeah?
Every guy has
And
been.
then what happens is if you let this drag on too long, the devil will plant the seed and it will go wrong. There will be no barakah left inside this. Go to your dad, go to your mum, say, this is what it is, and khalas, get it done. This is what my advice to young people would be. Do you understand? So,
Yeah.
there's some real life issues out there. Finding a spouse is difficult now, bro.
Very,
It is hard work out there. Parents are struggling. There's girls who are 35 and not married.
Yeah.
30s in their 30s because they've given precedence to their career. When
Yeah,
we went
true.
to his in-laws did not ask me anything.
Yeah, they still haven't.
Properties, cars, nothing. They're not interested. They were over the moon when they seen me. Whoa, Imam Asim's here. He'll tell you that.
Superstar.
But it wasn't about me.
Yeah.
They had to understand it ain't about me, it's about my brother. He's marrying into your family and your girl's marrying into our family. It is about these two. We just play our part, you know what I mean?
Should have found a spare sister for him. Sorry.
Yo, you made it sound so bad. Spare.
Spare, I know, like, what does that mean? They're lying around somewhere. They just put one away in the closet.
But I know what you mean, Don't worry, relax, it's alright. But generally, do you think young people, what are your expectations? What do you expect in a girl?
All right, you know what? With me, it comes back to when you said about flashy cars and this and that, high rollers. Girls are looking for that. I'm not whoever disagrees with me, but personally, from my personal experience, what I see, they go for
Have
that.
they asked you that? Or have they asked you what's your aspirations? Do you want a big detached house and
Yeah,
do
some
you
have.
want to make or do you,
Some have. You know, personally,
is that a bad thing?
I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but my answer is always the same. I want to stay at home with my mum and dad. I'm a proper family oriented type of person.
Like me.
Yeah, well, yeah. And I always want to stay at home with my mum and dad. And I ask the question sometimes. I'll go, all right, say like blah, 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 we got married, whatever. Would you stay at my house? They go, yeah. They say that first. They'll say, yeah, to keep you sweet or whatever. You go,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Good
gonna
point,
stay
this.
with
This
you.
is a good point. This
I'm gonna stay with you, whatever, right? But I know people, friends, whatever it may be, a few years down the line, I want my own house now.
Not even a few years, I know. A few weeks into the marriage, they'll just turn around and say to him, I want my own space. This isn't working.
Is that a bad thing though, guys?
Look, like,
It is if she's telling him beforehand, you know what, I will live with your mum and I will be good with you. And she's conned him basically into thinking
False perception, false lies, innit?
and then she's got him now.
making them think what they want to
Yeah,
hear.
yeah, and that's it. Now she's got him, and that's where the problem starts as well.
It's
Because like
true.
5 weeks in, she's
So it's not just guys who lead on.
yeah, girls are leading
No.
on big time.
But then again, but the flashy cars and all that, right? I'll think to myself, why am I always second choice? Because you know what? They'll go for that first. You know what? They mess them up or mess them around, and they'll have about 10 girls on the side and cheating on them. This
Yeah,
and
but
that.
you know, I'll just go on that. Yeah, I know girls who have tried to play me when they've got another guy on the side as well. So
Yeah.
I think we need to let's just switch this up a little bit. It's not just guys anymore.
No. Yeah.
It's girls as well that are doing it just
Yeah,
as
yeah.
bad as guys.
It's
They'll
true.
have two guys on the side and they'll see a guy with a Gucci tracksuit and think, yeah, I fancy him now. Let me go shoot my shot at
It's
him.
for the
I'll
mullahs.
slide into his DMs instead of him sliding into. That's happening more than the guys sliding into the girls nowadays.
Yeah, I put my account on a public a few months ago, and you'd be surprised the amount of
There you
people
go.
the girls that pop up.
That's what I'm saying. And I
Slide
bet
in.
like, we were saying you spoke to a girl who's got a man. So why she even replied to you?
It's true. They shouldn't.
That's
So
what
where's
I'm
the
saying.
loyalty gone?
That's what I mean.
There's no loyalty
That's
in
what I
this
mean.
game, bruv.
Our generation is.
There's no loyalty in your generation
up.
at all. They don't even know the.
They don't know what loyalty means.
the meaning of that word at all.
Yeah, they
bro.
want to be Romeo and Juliet. They want to be Majnun and Layla.
It's funny when you see one in the street or
Majnun.
not.
Only seen Layla once.
That's true.
And the man fell in love. Majnun. His name was Qais and that. If you actually read his stories, an Arab, real Arab man, this guy actually lived. And they say he was related to Sayyidina Ali as well.
Look at that.
And he's seen Layla, and Layla was, they say Majnun wasn't the best looking guy in that, man. But he fell in love with her and that. And he actually truly understood what love was.
But that's how it should be. My
But
lord.
there's no purity left in that thing now, man.
My lord.
There's no purity in this society in that way. And it's let's not measure according to the tales of the Arabs and that. Forget that. Be real. Right now, it's not, man. There's materialistic expectations. Girls look at guys. Guys look at girls.
Yeah. They'll
It's
say,
both ways, not one way.
they lie about it as well. Say, you know what? We don't care about our looks. We go for personality. But yeah, all right. I did this thing with my friends the other day. I go, all right. Let's put it this way, right? Let's line up 10 girls and me and my mates, whoever, 2 of us in the car, 3 of us in the car, and I go, we'll think all of them are pretty. Blah blah blah. We don't care about the personality. We'll think each and single one of them is very pretty. But if we line up 10 guys in a row, and there were 3 girls, they'd have their pick and choice. They'd pick, you know, he's attractive. I don't like how he looks, whatever.
Yeah.
That's how it is. But girls will be the first to say, oh, I'll go for personality, whatever. I won't go for looks. It's like 60% personality, 40% looks. But yeah, you see him go for them type of guys.
But how do you know a person's personality?
You obviously, but then again, your way, you know, your perfect way of doing it. You didn't do no phone calls, no this and that. You literally did bish bosh
Talk.
boom. You got
Convos is how
Yeah.
you get to know someone.
yeah.
Without hearing the voice, without knowing, you know.
I'll add to that. It's not necessarily just conversation. Conversation is a big part of life.
Yeah,
The Prophet ﷺ said there's 3 ways of getting to know someone.
Traveling's one.
Travel with them,
yeah,
do business with them,
yeah.
and live with them. Why did he say that Khadija married the Prophet ﷺ?
She did business with
Bit
him.
busy, yeah.
Maysara. Maysara was, and society said this guy's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Society said there's no one like.
He's the greatest.
Here, when I'm saying, I mean, I don't mean disrespectful by saying guy in that sense. That's just me loose talking or talking generally. But the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Maysara said there's nobody like him. Nobody like him.
Yeah.
You know, he's honest, he's trustworthy, truthful. Sidda Khadija was a widow.
This is another thing.
She had kids from a previous marriage.
There you go.
Nabi alayhi salatu, she was 15 years older.
Yeah.
Stereotypes, all broken. And married. But her position in society was big. Influential. Wealthy.
Yeah.
Independent. People say, oh, we're like the Sayyidah Khadijas. You're not. You are not. Get it out of your head. You can't be like that.
Yeah, I'm self-independent, blah, blah.
I'm independent, this, that. Independent how? You know, if you're independent, my mum always says it, you want to find a girl who's khandani.
Yeah.
They use this term. Kirelu and khandani. You know what khandani means? That she's able to carry the family forward. Within our culture,
We're losing them women.
we have those who will be good to their husbands, but that far. They can't go to, they think my mother-in-law's here, she's going to go and she's going to show face to people when they pass away, this, that and the other. They don't have this, what's the English word for it, that they're able to manage a family. Family is managing everything. I'm not saying that's part of their responsibility, but it shows the class of a woman. Do you know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
from my understanding, it shows a lot. That she's able to, that's independence. Independence isn't that you pay for your own insurance and that you pay your mortgage. That's money, man. Money comes and goes. Don't judge life or go through life based on numbers of money and that. This is the problem. We've become materialistic and it's monetized everything. Forget money for a moment. Independence is not just that. It's independence is being able to have control over the situation, knowing how it is, ultimately relying in Allah because He controls everything.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So there's problems out there, a lot of problems, and people are struggling, seriously struggling, to find spouses, to settle down, to, you know, the expectations are so much, and you know, your generation is struggling big time, and I don't know how it's going to work. I mean, would you get married from back home?
Me personally, no, I wouldn't.
Why?
You
Language barrier?
Not even language barrier. I understand it. I speak it relatively decently.
Perception.
It's more
Cultural.
It's more about culture, you know.
Her background and
and
upbringing.
my background is two different worlds apart. Like the way I've grown up, the way she's grown up. Fair enough, Pakistan's evolving, is more getting more modern, whatever. But yeah, they still got them that you know that they're like, we're more advanced. Say that, even though they are advancing, but we're more advanced. Like we're two different worlds
Quality
apart.
of life is different. Quality
Basically.
of education, everything. Now, that's not to say Pakistani girls are bad.
No, they're not.
Believe me, there are good girls out there. There's good and bad everywhere, bro.
Sure.
We get good and bad in Bradford, in the UK, in our families. And then we get good and bad everywhere. This is just the way of life.
Yeah.
If you ask me, would I get married in Pakistan? I mean, I can't ask Afan Saab, he's already married.
Would you though?
I would consider
No.
Pakistan.
Good answer. I was waiting for that. Would
No,
you?
but I would consider it. Why? Not because I can't get married here. It's not because I can't get married here. Oh, that's my only option now, going Pakistan. My situation, the situation I find myself in now, at the age of 30, the struggles, the perception of me out there now.
But we know by them perceptions are there as well.
Go back 2 years ago, there was no perception.
Just for people.
People have started saying all sorts of stuff about me. Loads of allegations have been put on me.
Yeah.
Loads of stuff has been said about me. Has been well documented in media, in social media about me. And to many, they'd say my reputation's tarnished.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, he's going through this, that, and the other. I don't want to marry him. I'll tell you straight now, I've had people say that. I've had families reject me on that basis, and I've had girls even reject me on that basis. Oh, no, this, that. But they don't know the truth.
It's true.
They honestly do not know the truth. Like, there is nobody's perfect. We're human. We all make mistakes. I'm no different. I mean, I've made mistakes in life, and what I've done in my personal life, my own personal mistakes, may Allah forgive me. Like
Ameen.
anyone else, nobody's perfect. And we should always do istighfar. We should always try to make it right and rectify our state and be better.
Yeah.
But there's certain things out there about me that have been said which are absolutely not true. Absolutely not true. And just one underage, absolutely not true. You know, molestation and all these nonsense, these words, I mean, it's just ridiculous. But there's people out there who probably think that.
Yeah, it's true.
And I'll tell you what it's done to me. It has, in many ways, impacted my personal life shockingly. I'm being told you have to get married. You can't do no work in the field. You can't do this, that, and the other. You need to be a married man in order to do this. But I'll argue, well, there's people that are married and who are doing worse than this.
I'll argue who are them to have the right to say that to you anyway. They're not
It's my personal life in that sense.
They're
But
not the holders of our religion.
But generally speaking, like, my argument would be in this regards that, okay, I want to get married, but now I can't. I'm struggling to find someone here. In what aspect? Because I've been tarnished, because I've been exposed or I've been wrongfully, things have been said about me which, you know, nobody would want that.
Yeah.
That's
you
another
wish that on
issue.
your enemy, you know, to be put in that position. And today, you know, I'll tell you immediately, in January, I was about to get married. Marishta was done. The family had agreed. 3 days later, the father rang and said, it's off. You're not marrying my daughter. Why? Because of what happened.
They don't know that prior to...
No, her brothers or her family knew that. But her father was told about certain stuff and was shown stuff against me that said, no, not happen. Okay, no worries. That's fine. You know, if people can't accept whatever's happened, I accept that. But see how hard it is now. Like in my position at 30, it's a struggle. Believe me, people don't understand the struggle. My mum...
It becomes evil then. It's not even about beefing with someone or trying to put someone down. you were about to get married, I'll tell you, I was there. I'm his younger brother. I seen everything from an outside perspective. Like, I'll tell you, not being IMAH, being his younger brother, seeing what my mum had to go through. Even I felt, obviously, that's my elder brother. He's a superstar to me as well, more than you lot. That's my elder brother. Do you know what I mean? I want to see him sell more than anyone else. But when somebody is planning and saying false stuff behind you and accusing you of false things behind your back, that's just evil. It's not even about getting out to get someone.
Like, if you ask my mum now in the world, you know, what does she most want?
She said it to me yesterday.
She goes, she just wants to see me happy.
She said it to me
yesterday. She wants to see me married with kids.
Yeah.
She goes, I just want to see you settled and happy. Honestly, that's all she wants. She goes, Didi's married. Imam Adil's married. Great. But she goes, I want to see you because I've seen you struggle. Social media perspective. I've been thrown in the dumps, bro. I like to say straight, man. People don't know that.
Yeah.
That struggle. I know what face I have to stand on a Friday. I know people who ridicule me, who swear at me, who say all sorts for stuff I've never done in life. I've never ever done what I've been accused of in that sense. I ain't no angel, nobody's an angel, but I've not done that. And I tell you straight, I have struggled, bro. Struggled. And it hurts because, why it hurts is because what has put my mum and dad through. My dad, you know, he didn't have to live to see that, but my mum has. My mum has, and now she only prays to see me happy. That's tough, man. I wouldn't want nobody's mother to go through what she went through. But she's strong. She keeps me strong. She's brave. She's dealt with it. Of course I want to be happy. I see my brother happy. I can't wait for him to have kids. Nobody loves Imam Adil's kids other than them more than me, I'll tell you straight. Bro, I'm dying to have my own kids. I'm dying to have my own kids. But I'm going to sit here and say that I am forced in a position to go to Pakistan and get married. Because there's people out there who will judge me on that. Like, they're saints, they're perfect, but they're not.
We know all about them as well, let's just be honest.
But I'm not, there's no saints out there, bro. We're all sinners.
No one is.
Best are those who turn back to Allah, and I'm a man to come out and I says I've done wrong in my life. Allah forgive me on that. Go on, I dare you to do that. Anyone go in front of thousands. People talk about followings. I've got a following. People talk about all these things. I know where I am, man. I know what I've done in life. All my life I've worked to help young people. I'm sat here today talking about issues facing you guys. Because I want to make things right. I want you guys to learn from my mistakes, but in life be good. We want to see strong young Muslims. And all my life, 10 years I've worked in this field. This is my craft, this is my field, you know, working with young people, inspiring, educating. And you think that the time will come, somebody will accept me, but no.
I'll say this, you change more people than any of them lot have. I'm not just saying that because you're my brother. I'm not emotional here. It might sound in my voice, but I'll tell you straight. The people that we're talking about, I've never seen anyone come to me saying, I've listened to his speech and I changed. But I know thousands have come to me because of my brother, and they've said to me because of my brother, I changed because of one thing he said. So take the good from people. That's what we need to start doing as a community, as Muslims, to help each other. Instead of bringing each other down, we need to start uplifting each other and looking at the good in each other. Because look at the problems we cause just by hating on one another, man.
It's true.
And hating becomes evil because it affects people's families and their livelihoods and their lives. You know, it's just got to be sorted out, and we've just got to be good with each other.
It's true.
But that's my struggle. There's not many people in my position, bro, who are struggling in that aspect. But in everyone has a story. Everyone is going through different circumstances and struggles.
Yeah.
And people are out there struggling in life, and you know, Allah make it easy for everyone. But you know, talking about the issue of marrying abroad in Pakistan, I could marry in South Africa, Canada, America. I've been to all parts of the world. But it seems as though, I mean, I wouldn't mind marrying in Pakistan generally on a personal perspective. I'm not being forced to. My mum's not forcing me into anything. My mum's never, ever forced us.
Nope.
Nobody's more understanding in our life than our mum. I'll be straight with you. But I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. You know, maybe my mentality is a bit like that as well because I'm from like the older bit old school in that mentality, old school in that aspect.
Yeah.
But if somebody was here compatible, I would. You know, with me, I'll tell you two things. One is when somebody looks at me and sees me, a girl, for example, first perception is this guy's got to be seriously strict.
Yeah.
Because he's an Imam.
Yeah.
That title, or is a Maulana or a Lama or whatever, that title carries that stereotype. He is so strict, so we can't keep up to his strict expectations and that. We all have expectations in marriage, all have expectations from our future spouses.
Yeah.
Nobody's free from that. We all have some sort of... Honestly, I'm not a strict guy, man. I'll tell you straight. I'm probably the most chilled out, cool guy you'll probably meet in this field, in that sense. That's the first thing. The second thing is what I've just mentioned.
Yeah.
These two things have been the biggest struggle. Like somebody actually pointed that out to me. Maybe you are struggling to find someone here because whoever the girls are, they seem to like look at you and think maybe he'll be super, religious, super strict on that. But it's not the case.
Yeah, but that all right. I've got a few examples. I might not look like the most religious guy. I probably don't. But still, like if people, if a girl texts me on Instagram or whatever, yeah, they'll text me and I'll be Islamic, but I'll talk about my religion, I'll talk about my deen or whatever, and they'll say to me, what you want about? They'll just disregard it and change conversation. Topic or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll change the topic and say, you're too religious, blah blah blah, and they'll just just leave it at that. And I thought,
what are they looking for?
No, maybe then what it is then if they say maybe then you're not compatible.
Yeah.
If they can't accept your religious side, then she ain't your type.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. They'll say they want a religious person.
That's what I was gonna say.
We're looking for a man on deen.
I want a guy who prays 5 times a day.
When someone says that, they go, like, no, you're right. We're about. It's one of those.
Where do you stand?
Yeah, like I can't say much.
You think girls are not clear with what they want?
No, not really. But
But exactly that.
Some people are. Some girls
they know what they want.
Some girls do. Some girls are just they just want to go.
This
have
might be
fun.
a bad simile on that. Yeah. When you go shopping, you know what you're looking for. You're either a window shopper.
Yeah.
That'll just shop around and look, and whatever you find, you'll get. Or
you know what you
need. Actually, I'm a guy who, when I go to shop, I know what I'm looking for. I'll be straight with you. I want a pair of Yeezys.
We get 'em.
350 V2s. I'm going to go to that shop. Flannels, have you got them? No? Okay, I'm going to go Selfridges.
Yeah.
Straight up. I know what I'm looking for. I would never go, I'm going to town just, window shopping. But there's some people out there, I'm going to window shop.
Yeah.
That's mentalities, I think.
Like, I'm not going to lie. If you go back a year or whatever, I had this thing in my head, concept in my head. I'm going to find a girl that's got coloured eyes, fair skin, blah, 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 modern, whatever. But then I was like, what, fair enough.
As you mature and get older.
Yeah, even though I'm a bit of a clown anyway, I do stupid things. Whoever knows me, I'm a bit of an idiot. But to an extent, I can be mature. When it comes to Islamic basis or whatever, I'm very mature and I can be an adult at times. But I've come to that sense that why do I want to look for that type of girl? What's that going to happen? Find someone
looks fade.
Yeah, exactly. My mum said that as well. It says, looks fade, your personality's there. My uncle says it as well, whoever says it. And it's true. I've like got that concept in my head now, thinking, all right, obviously I'm not going to go find someone that I find unattractive, but find someone that I find attractive to her. But
she doesn't have to be a 10 out of 10 to you.
Yeah, basically.
She could be an 8 out of 10 in looks, but the personality is 10 out of 10. Which makes
yeah, exactly. Because like you said, back to the first thing, what do you think marriage is? Marriage is commitment for the rest of your life. You're going to spend the rest of your life with that person. You're going to have a laugh with that person. You find someone you click with, basically.
Yeah, but attraction is a big part, man.
It is. That's what I mean.
I'm gonna be open, blunt and straight on that.
That's what I'm saying. But
You've
you
got
can't
to be
find a 10 out of
attracted.
10 though. If you find you can't get a 10 out of 10.
If you get a 10 out of 10 girls, are you
10
saying you won't
personality
get 10 out of 10 character? You won't get that, will you?
know it. I can. I'm 20. You're 30. You're 27. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen that? Personally,
No.
there you go. I've not seen that either.
Maybe.
I can see 10 out of 10 girls, but the
I've
personality's
been
not there.
rejected, mate.
We've all been rejected. I've been rejected. I'm 20 and I've been rejected. Personally, I would
But
reject-
rejection, should we accept it? Is that fair, man? Like, let's talk about rejection and that, man.
What do you
There's
mean,
young
should we
lads who are
accept
out there rejected and that, man.
it? So let them get rejected. We all get rejected. It's part of life.
Exactly.
Life, innit?
You
Carry
work,
on.
You work with
Don't cry over that girl. There's plenty more fish in the sea. Just move on.
Exactly. I like that phrase. That's a good one. That.
Well, we don't mean to be crude when we say plenty more fish in the sea. We're saying there's
Yeah,
the
disclaimer
world's an
there
oyster.
again.
There's
Yeah,
so many
basically.
options. Somebody out there will be compatible to you,
It wasn't meant to
who
be.
will understand you, who will be on your level,
Yeah.
that you will click with. You will not. I just look at Alpha Sab as a top example in my life.
For God's sake, man.
This guy we just walked into the house and he actually come out and he goes, you know what?
I'll get on with it. You lot don't
I'll
worry.
get on with it. Don't worry. I'll make this work. I thought,
That's
okay, you
that's
know
good
what? I
attitude
didn't
though.
expect that though, man.
Good attitude.
You know, but he knows what he wanted.
Yeah.
He found an attraction. He wasn't picky or fussy in that sense. It's just what did he, and ultimately it's what God had destined for him.
And you know what else got me? The way she met my mum.
Mm.
Because at the end of the day, we all say we love our mum and our mum's number one and this, that. And I'm a bit of a, I can be a bit of an idiot towards my family.
Yeah.
I'm a bit volatile and whatnot, yeah, but my mum's happiness is what makes me happy ultimately. I've realized that about myself.
Yeah.
So when the way my wife met my mum, sold it to me. That's why I said to these, I'll make
I'll
it
tell you
work
what,
over there.
Pirzada Saab, yeah.
That's where I got it from.
What a guy, man.
That's where I got
This is
from.
my teacher, Sheikh Muhammad Imdad Hussain Pirzada. There's rumors out there because of how I left Jamia al-Karam and this, that, and the other. And I'll be open and honest. People don't know the truth. Wallahi al-Azim, people don't know the truth. How I left Jamia al-Karam. And again, it's lies about me out there which are not true. People don't know about, but the perception thing. And one day I'll open up and tell the truth about that as well.
Yeah.
But he's my teacher, one of my biggest role models and inspirations in life. I'm not going to lie, sit here, I crave his company, I crave his time and attention. I don't know if they'll give me it, if whether, I don't know. It's always been, they're what now, I think 74 years old, Allah give them long life, Mufassir of the Quran. He set up a Jamia, an institute that's been over 30 years, over 400-500 scholars born and raised in the United Kingdom, of which I'm one of a graduate and product of that place. So this man is the biggest scholar right now, I would say, in terms of impact and work in the United Kingdom. There's no denying that. He has produced male and female scholars, and he is up there, believe you me. And he is a man of experience and wisdom.
It's his wisdom that kills it.
It's unbelievable, next level. Like, it's amazing. They say knowledge is one thing, wisdom comes after knowledge.
Yeah.
And Qibla Pirzada Sahab, I remember one thing he told me, and you know what? It is such a powerful, powerful statement on marriage. Like, when they got married to Auntie, who they're married to now, obviously, we call her Auntie, great woman, served Jamia, served the students of Jamia ever since day one, been on the side of Pirzada Sahab. Behind the man of behind every great man is the hand of a woman.
Yeah.
Whether that's your mother, whether that's your sister, or whether that's your wife. And most times it's generally your wife, mother or wife. And in this case, behind Pirzada Sahab is this great woman, phenomenal, noor from her face, righteous, pious woman. And Pirzada Sahab goes, on the first night I told her that this is very powerful according to hadith.
Okay.
Where does a man's Jannah lie? A man's Jannah lies beneath the feet of his mother. Where does the wife's Jannah lie? In the pleasure of the husband. Pirzada Sahab used this example. He said, if you take care of my Jannah, I will give you your Jannah. Do you know what that means? If you take care of my mother and be kind to her and be good to her and be rightful and righteous to her, I will be so pleased. And Nabi alayhi salatu salam said that if a woman passes away, a wife passes away, and the husband is pleased with her, she will go to Jannah straight away. There's no sub-conditions of fast, Hajj, none of this has been mentioned in the hadith. Simply, I am happy with my wife. That is enough for a woman to get to paradise. Just please your man. And if in pleasing your man means that you have to make effort with his mother, it's not an obligation. Islam does not oblige the daughter-in-law to be in love with the mother-in-law. The daughter-in-law to save the mother-in-law. The wife has to save the husband.
Yeah.
But if the wife's clever and knows that if I do good to my mother-in-law, which will make my husband happy, boom, she has got her ticket to paradise. And I'll tell you straight, he said that to her. And
I got it from them.
And me is no different. People will say, "Oh, mummy's boy." I'll tell you, I am my mummy's boy, and I am not gonna shy away from saying that.
I think all boys.
So was Michael Jordan as well, the goat of the sports world, who everyone wants to follow as well. He's the biggest movies boy in the world.
It's true.
Biggest movies boy in the world was him. Everyone wants to be like that guy.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Biggest movies boy.
They say he's the best footballer. It's all about his mum.
All the time he goes on about his mum.
He wins a trophy, gives it to his mum.
Yeah.
Bro, your mother, man. And you know, if your wife understands the maqam of your mother, you know what? She'll understand her own maqam when she has kids.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow Allah give our wives,
Ameen.
those women out there who don't have children, Allah give them children. When they become mothers,
Ameen.
the role will reverse.
Yeah.
The tables will turn. The time will come upon you.
Yeah.
If you're good to your mothers, and your mother-in-law is your mother as well. Mother, maybe in-law, meaning through marriage.
Yeah.
She's now become your mother. Marriage to your husband, that has become your mother. I've got two mums. I've got my biological mother, and then I've got my mother-in-law. This mother-in-law term, forget that. Ye meri sas hai. Forget this meri sas hai. Ye meri maa hai. Change this mentality of ye meri sas hai to ye meri maa hai. Was his mother is mine, and you know what? He will say that your mum's my mum too. I love her just as you love her. Because then the day I've accepted you, by accepting you, I've accepted her. Bro, this is a problem, man. Girls think, oh, my kitchen, my independence, I need my husband's heart. But if you come into his life 27 years later,
Exactly.
Yeah.
and you want to take over, you got a long way to go, girl.
That's what I mean. It comes back to they'll tell you what they want you to hear, and then they'll change.
That's what I'm
afterwards.
saying, innit? Like
But they
your
don't
mum-
understand it's easy, man.
Yeah.
Why are you competing against your mother-in-law? She's got her place, but you're his wife.
Yeah.
Do you understand your maqam? Like,
It's crazy.
you're sahibun bil jambi and that, man. You're his partner, your zawj.
Yeah.
Allah's given you a rank. وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مُوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. He's put love and mercy between you and him. Why are you threatened by your mother-in-law?
That's what I say. I'll say to a girl, you know, when we're talking about whatever, I'll say to him, I'll go, you know what? If you're ever disrespectful, whether it be to my dad, mom, whatever, but if you know what I mean? Like, obviously, there's limits. Say, like, if they're telling to do this, and this 24/7, then you're gonna think, you know, I feel bad for them.
Yeah, of
whatever.
course, no. Then
But
it's
say
the
like if-
balance again, innit?
But if Ima said, if they come in and they've got that hatred and that jealousy there, I've always said to him, I say, you know that door you walk straight through, you can walk straight back out that door as well.
Yeah, but they're entering in with a chip on their shoulder. They shouldn't be entering with no
That's
chip
what I
on
mean.
their
They
shoulder.
shouldn't. But again,
Be humble, the perception, be mellow when it comes to these things. You know what it is? Be broad, stop, build your characters, man. Evolve your character. Be I don't know, man. I just think expectations are too much sometimes, man.
very.
Do they not? Pre-marriage expectations.
Too big.
Oh, and this uncertainty. Bro, we live in uncertain times, and I tell you what, people's imans are uncertain.
Mm-hmm.
This word, I don't know, it's a risk. I'll tell you what, marriage is a gamble. Let me tell you another secret. I've been married. I actually got married when I was 20 years old. My marriage was arranged by the people at the masjid I was working at, through them. I married this girl with good intention. It didn't work out. When I look back now, 10 years, I was 20 years old when I got married. So people say, get married. I've been there, mate. Don't worry. I wore this t-shirt before you got married. Don't you worry about me getting married. I'll get married. What concern do you have me getting married? Why are you so worried about me getting married, man?
Yeah.
I'm not leading or playing nobody on. Believe you me. I'm not into any of that. I will get married, relax.
Yeah.
But I have been married. I've had a taste of marriage life.
Yep.
And I'll tell you now, I use the word gamble, chance, risk. Marriage is a chance. You
Very
don't
much
know.
so.
There is no promise. Tomorrow, you don't know what tomorrow holds. Today she's this, tomorrow you don't know. So you have to do your due diligence. You've got to check. You've got to make sure. Do your istikhara. Turn to Allah and ask Him. Ya Allah, give me a sign. Allahumma khirli wakhtarli. Allah, tell me if this is good for me. Choose, make this good for me. Do this. And I'll sit here and I'll say, whoever I have considered for marriage or who was considered for me today, if they're not here, then I accept that this was not good for me. It was not meant to be. It would have been fantastic to have had a life with her, or maybe with her, potentially with her. You know, over the years, there have been rishtas. I'm not going to deny it. Some have rejected me, some my mum has rejected. It's the harsh reality. But I'll tell you straight. It's what's written for you will come to you.
You know what I mean?
And ultimately, we have to have faith in Allah, deep faith. And I'm not saying here faithless. I'll tell you that now. I have so much conviction and faith that and my mum says it. You know, you've been through so much, you're going to get so much good. It'll come. After hardship comes ease. So I says, okay, I believe your du'as. You know, my mum every day, tahajjud, every day, fajr, she's making these du'as. But I know my mum's du'as going to pull through on that. All I need to do is be a bit patient. No worries.
Yeah.
You got to try. You've got to tie the camel. If you don't tie the camel, you won't know.
Yeah.
And the Prophet, ﷺ, the man goes, oh, I've got the camel. And the Prophet, listen, did you tie your camel? Said, no. Says, how do you expect a camel not to stay there then? You make sure you tie the camel, then leave the rest to Allah.
Yeah.
Go tie your camel on that. Go do your thing. Do your bit.
Yeah.
So I'm trying. Okay, maybe I see a potential here. You speak, mention to the mum. My mum mentions me, whatever it may be. It didn't work out. Okay, we move on. Happens in life. It's not a problem. You got to go through so many failures to get to success.
Yeah.
He went through 4 state potentially 5, 6, 7. If you consider, you know, one maybe in the past as well, it didn't work out. It wasn't meant to be. Stop crying over spilled milk. It's happened. Move on.
Yeah.
Wish him good. Allah give you a good life. Carry on, man. You missed out. I know what I bring to the table. Simba knows what he brings. Didi knows what he brings. You missed out on my life on that, man. We know, and having this faith. اللهم لا مانع لما أعطيت ولا معطي لما منعت ولا ينفع ذا الجد منك الجد. Nobody, oh Allah, nobody can stop what you can give, what you give. And nobody can give what you have stopped.
Yeah.
If she's not meant to be, she's not meant to be. Khalas, accept it. Accept this and let it be. And sometimes, you know what, if young people don't understand that, they're like but they dwell over it.
Caught up in the moment.
We're so caught up,
Very
and
caught up in the
I've been caught up in the moment.
Very caught up
I'll
in the
tell you
moment.
straight, our cut comes this year, 2020 in review. Next week we'll have a podcast on review. I tell you, January started bad.
Yeah.
And the last 3 years, 4 years, January has not been a good month for me. And I don't know what this January comes up, 2021 will have. But I will cut up.
Good goodness, yeah.
You know, it was a struggle, it was a mission. But we were caught up in the moment. But when you bring faith into this, when you bring the belief in Allah into this, and you look at destiny and think, Raditu billahi rabban, I'm content with Allah as my Lord. I'm pleased. It's alright. If it weren't meant to be, it weren't meant to be. Move on. Like Didi says, there's plenty of fish in the sea.
It was, again, earlier on in the year, I was talking to someone, and my replies were not the best. I'll be honest with you. My replies are so bad. And
You've been on text?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And I replied on a night or a day later or whatever it may be, and she just got, I think she said to me, you know what, that you don't make an effort. She moved on. You know, what can you do? And then I thought, you know what, I had that same belief. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be.
Were you cut though?
I wasn't. Personally, with me, I know it sounds bad, but
You weren't that into it then, didn't it?
I wasn't. No, it wasn't that I wasn't into it. It's more the fact that, you know what, again, I had that belief, you know, it wasn't meant to be. If I genuinely didn't believe that as well, I probably might have been. Because I know a lot of people, you know, when they have a breakup or whatever, they'll go in their little bubbles, they won't talk to no one.
They put the Rumi quotes up that I've got nothing to do with women.
Yeah, they put
I just want to say this, because I have a problem with this. And they put Quran ayats up to do with love, like, It's got nothing to do with your love life. I'm sorry, man. It's got absolutely nothing to do with your love life. So stop posting them quotes, please, people. When you break up with your girlfriends or boyfriends, or when you're in love with someone, don't use Maulana Rumi's quotes or the Quran. Please.
But the Quran says, doesn't it, though, in context, Asa an takunu an tuhibbu shay'an, perhaps you love something, but fahuwa kurhun lakum, it's bad for you. Asa an takrahu shay'an, fahuwa khayrun lakum, and perhaps you despise something, but it's good for you. You're always, there's this element of you don't know, so you got to go back to Allah and say, Allahumma khirli wa akhtarli. Allah, tell me, is this good for me or not good for me? Turn back to Allah and ask Him for guidance. We're governed by the law that Allah has set. Ask Him. Give me guidance. Give me a sign.
There was one that I didn't want to reach there. And my mum was a bit adamant about taking that one to the next step.
Sure.
So I told her, give me one day, I want to do dua and that. She goes, what are you on about? If my mum's listening, she'll remember this. Aima doesn't know because this was just a private convo between me and my mum. She goes, what are you going to do? I go, I'm going to speak to my dad. Okay. At the graveyard, I'm going to speak to him and to my cousin Zen and say, you go speak to God and tell him that I don't want to marry this girl. And I says to mum, tomorrow I'll get a sign. You'll either tell me I'm marrying or I'm not. My mum rang me whilst I was walking around. She goes, oh, forget that Rishta is being called off. I go, what are you on about? She goes, oh, they rang me and they've told me they don't like you no more. I said, oh, well, I'm not just making this up on the podcast. On my life, I went back to the graveyard to my cousin Zen. I was like, you're still my guy, bro. Like, you still got my back on that. You're still working for me in that. Honest to God, Jabba was with me. If he's listening, he'll tell you. Jabba was with me then when my mum rang and she goes, oh, you're not getting married to that girl now. I'm like, yeah, the wars really work. They really do work. True. Maybe not straight away, but they really do work.
Nobody, somebody's mentioning comments, why does somebody have to marry a guy who's a mess around or a gangster or loafer or whatever? You don't have to marry anything. Nobody's saying that. We're not sat here saying you've got to marry somebody who's got a past or who hasn't. No. Nobody's forced to. We're not here trying to force people to marry us. If you don't want to marry us, bro, don't marry us.
We're not Tinder.
Do you know what I mean? We ain't Musmatch here or anything.
None of that. Man.
Do you know what I mean? We're here having a discussion, about this concept of marriage and finding a spouse and finding what's compatible, finding an understanding and the risks entailed in that, the benefits entailed in that. It's a broad discussion. And we need to break the stereotypes of what? We need to break these stereotypes of you don't have to marry just in your race or in your caste.
True. Like
caste is a massive thing.
Mom, again, sorry, Mum, apologize. But I was talking to her the other day, and she says to me, I was showing her a revert, right? And she goes, she Muslim? I go, yeah. She says, but you know what? She's white or whatever she was. I'm not gonna name whatever she was, but she goes, I go. End of the day, she's Muslim. That's what made my. It don't make a difference if she's black, white, Chinese, brown, whatever. She's Muslim end of the day. And my mum says, I said, you know what it is our culture as Pakistanis. We always say, no, you can't get married.
Stereotype.
Yeah, stereotypes. You're gonna get married to a Pakistani girl or a brown girl, whatever, blah blah, because they're Muslims or the culture. What's say if you get married to a white girl, revert. They're not going to make you andi or your roti or this and that. But again, it's not about that. It's about...
No, but if it was about that, Simba, the Prophet ﷺ would have said that.
Yeah.
A religion would say that. Marriage isn't about your andi and roti.
There you go. That's what
marriage is not about who does your bed. It's not about that. It's about who you're compatible with. Who has the deen, who has the character, who will give the best upbringing to your children. Exactly. That is what you need to look at. And
that's what I said, yeah.
We need to break these stereotypes. Like as an Imam in my position, there's been, I'm not going to even lie, over the years, hundreds of cases where young people have come to me and said, I want to marry this guy, but the family have rejected because I'm a different caste. I want to marry this girl. That's wrong, man. Come on, man. Why are parents so narrow-minded, man? We understand, okay, maybe there's links or reasons, but,
Imam, I'm sorry I'll just bring you in on the joke. You said, when a guy comes to me and said, I want to marry a guy.
Oh, yeah. We don't believe in adamant.
He's a bit younger than us and he's just gone straight.
Sorry, man. Let me rephrase that. When somebody comes to me and says, if a girl comes or a guy comes, they'll say, they send inboxes, they send messages, they contact our Al-Hikam Institute mobile number or the landline and talk about these issues. Please resolve it. My parents are not agreeing. How do I make them understand? You either try, and then if it don't work, then leave it. Leave it and either leave it to them. But, fundamentally it comes down to, I think, not just a case of you found your spouse. Is prior to that, finding a spouse, is having that relationship with your parents, which we've touched on.
Yeah.
You need to have that relationship where you can speak to them openly about these things, man. And some kids are not privileged to have that. They don't have that, man. And that's sad. That's sad that parents can't have that relationship with their children. It doesn't mean that they cross the line. You don't cross the line. That's your mum and dad. But can you not put a request in and say, I would like this. Could you find me this? Obviously, they know what you need and what you want. But forced marriages is haram, and I'm going to go to that. I know people who have been forced into marriage. And that's haram, and la ikraha fi deen. There is no compulsion or force in religion, and that's not just in relation to the laws of war. This is general day-to-day life. You cannot force nobody to get into a marriage. I mean, girls have been shipped to Pakistan, forced to marry their cousins in Pakistan. Guys have been forced to marry their cousins. That's wrong, man.
Just so the parents can keep izzat.
Izzat and for what? And then 3 years later, they divorce. Or they're having secret affairs and relationships, in marriage. Come on, man. What Islam is this?
Big issue nowadays, affairs in marriages, because of what you said, I'm a massive issue. Man.
Because they're not happy and content with their spouse and that. If you're not happy and content, and marry again a second time. If you can marry a second time, marry again. What's worse?
Yeah, but that's what.
Zina or getting married a second time with the consent of your wife or without the consent, but she knows. And what's worse? People will say it'll be worse to get married the second time or rather do zina. Bad mentality, bro. Why did Allah Almighty say, فَانْكِهُ طَابَ لَكُم مِّنَ النِّسَاءِ مَثْنَى وَثُلَاثَ وَرُبَاعَ طَابَ لَكُم مِّنَ النِّسَاءِ مَثْنَى وَثُلَاثَ وَرُبَاعَ. I'm not here sitting here promoting polygamy in that sense, but I'm just saying Allah Almighty created us knowing what our needs are. It is human need. It's in the makeup of a human. Men are men. We can all sit there and judge and say, hey, a man's like this and his desires and da. We're all men. We are all human. This is why the Prophet ﷺ said, you know what will get you paradise? If you can control what's between your jaw and what's between your legs, if you can control them, I guarantee you paradise. There's a reason why that was said. Discipline, of course, we're human, we make mistakes, but come on.
Not perfect, yeah.
The guidance is there in the Quran and the Sunnah. But forced marriages is haram, and we need to make that clear. Parents need to get on. You'd think in the 21st century, 2020, these things have stopped.
Oh no, they're going on.
Bro, they still exist.
It is.
And people are struggling, and there is no such thing as forced marriage. You can't, how I don't know, I mean, the legalities of it, would that even marriage stand? To be forced into saying Kabul, forced into accepting. I think the muftis would even go to the point of saying it's not even a marriage in the first place.
Do you think the Maulvis are culpable, Imam, of the past generation?
In what aspect?
So, just say I'm a 60-year-old father now, and I bought my daughter, and I'm saying, look, this is the problem I got with the home. Mesti shadi karsan married, patri enal, Pakistani person. Should be the Maulvi's job there and then to say, listen, mate, you're not allowed to force it at all. Yes, no, I'm sure there's been plenty of mans who have gone to the mullah in the local mosque, to the local imam, and discussed the issues with him. Because I've had plenty of people come to me as a young kid thinking I'm the imam of the mosque, because the imam's got that status, and they'll start telling me, yeah, I'm trying to get my kid married off, and what do you think? So do you think maybe the Maulvi should have been a bit more...
But that comes back to culture,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not supportive of the culture, but more of the actual religion itself.
I see like older generation, older than yours. Your
yeah,
mom,
that's what I'm saying.
grandma, whatever.
The one before you, them Maulvis, were they culpable for
the
not
ulama,
speaking
I
about
don't know,
it?
maybe they possibly were. The ulama might have been, possibly, but I wouldn't say blanket that they are culpable, but I can say that not many of them would sit on the mimbar and discuss this, educate and guide people on this. People need that education and guidance. And especially on this subject of forced marriages, and emotional blackmail. Parents do a lot of emotional blackmail. Girls do a lot of emotional blackmail, and it's wrong. You can't. It's just, that's a form of abuse.
Yeah.
To emotionally blackmail someone into something that they don't want. I mean, that's not fair. How can you?
Yeah.
Has the world ended?
Yeah, you know, I've got
The world's not going to end if you don't
I've got
marry your auntie's
I've got
daughter.
friends that'll come to me and to complain and go, my mum, you know, I'm having a stressful life at home, blah blah blah. They tell me to do this, tell me to do that, or they saying get married to this banda, blah blah whatever, and I'll go. Ultimately, like you said before, it's a big decision. You sometimes, you don't want to be disrespectful, but you gotta make a stand. You gotta stand up and say, all right, I love you, but this is my choice alone.
I actually had a conflict within myself about that.
No, but then,
I'm telling you the truth. I conflicted with myself internally. Am I being disrespectful if I make a stand for myself or not? I actually conflicted. Then I thought, no, it's not, because if I tell my mum first, look, I'm not going to be disrespectful. It's got nothing to do with mine and your love. It's not going to affect our love. Let's just talk about the issue then. And then I got into my head that it's not disrespectful. So I think us as kids, we go through that issue as well, of the internal conflict of being made to feel bad.
Right. You got your own opinions as well. You can't, like, it's like going the rest of your life saying, your mum and dad saying, no, you're doing this for me, you're doing this for me, you're doing this for me, you're gonna get this job, you're gonna do this job. You're gonna live life. The point of living life, then you might as well just put an apron on.
But exactly, and do what your parents say. It's not always just about what the parents. Parents have to understand that kids have lives. They're building lives,
and they got dreams.
You need to support
right, Dad.
What is right for them. What is good for them, and what is jais for them. If it's harmful and dangerous to them, then you have the right to stop that. That is your duty as a parent.
Yeah.
But if it's good, then carry on. And I mean, just looking through the comments as well, there's sisters watching this, and I know we're guys, and I do apologize. We're looking at a lot from a male perspective. From a female perspective,
I could do that as well if you want.
How?
I'm joking.
well, you're not saying you're a different gender, are you?
I'm joking.
All right, okay.
Are we going into that one now?
No, but
People
from a
might be
female
saying it though.
perspective, let's not be biased. Maybe some things we have said is from a male perspective, being guys sat here. From a female perspective, it's
I say it's harder. I feel like
very hard.
It's tougher on them than it's us.
Unfortunately, they have no say in their homes.
Yeah.
And they have to move to our houses as well when they get married to us as well. So they're having it hard as well.
That's why I feel like this idea of finding your own person rather than get forced into it. Because if you're getting forced into it, they're going to treat you as a slave. But if you find someone, all right, more often than not, say like if someone came and found you, a girl liked you, whatever, you're going to represent your family. Because that's how your family, caring, kind, respectful, Islamic, family oriented, a girl's going to see that through you and think, you know what, if he's like that, her brothers might be like that, her mum might be like that, her dad might be like that. That's the family I'm going to go into. His dad, yeah. Sorry, you know what I meant.
You're very LGBTQ.
Please don't say that, man. They're gonna cuss me out.
Yeah, go carry on.
But they're gonna whatever the way you portray yourself, that's how someone's gonna see your family as well. You know what I mean? Like I get it a lot all the time. They'll say, you know what, you look like a certain type of boy, but you know what, mashallah, you got your head screwed on, you don't smoke, you don't drink, you don't go shisha, you don't go out after 10 o'clock, blah, blah, blah. You listen to your parents. And I'll say to them, there's plenty of people like that, but they go, you know what, it's very rare to find that type of person. I feel like it's a big thing. When you find someone to marry, it's more you're representing your family as well. You know what I mean? Yeah,
it brings that, of course. If end of the day she's moving in, like, it's like, oh no, I accept you, but you got to accept my family. That's not fair.
But that's what I mean. If you get forced into it, you're not gonna feel that way. You're gonna think.
Well, I've got no choice but to accept. I had no choice.
There you go.
I've said yes to this, and I just think on this point of what we're just mentioning, this specific point about what's this point that we were talking about?
You know what? Even I forgot. I'm not gonna.
About finding your spouse, getting forced.
Feminism.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
That's the word that was in my mind. Feminism. We live in the world. It's feminism. Women, and people will then see this and say, well, Islam doesn't give no rights to women. So what does Islam say about what a woman can and can't do? A woman has the right to choose as well.
Yeah.
A woman has the right to choose who she can marry. A woman has to look at if she's. There's a woman who came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, Ya Rasulullah, my husband beats me up. My husband beats me up. Nabi ﷺ said, separate from him. That's rights for women. I mean, we'll talk about this on the third podcast about divorce rates and stuff like that. Women have that right. Khula, fasakh. They can terminate marriage. They can dissolve marriages through the Sharia courts, etc. Women can do that. But In marriage, there's got to be patience. You can't just say, I'm going to divorce my wife, or I'm going to divorce, I'm going to, go and ask for a dissolving of marriage after the first argument.
They do that, a lot of them do.
Again,
One
it's living in
argument,
the
I'm
moment,
I ain't staying here. Who are you to tell me?
Egos.
Whether that's a man or woman, there's men who blatantly throw the word talaq around. They don't even understand the gravity and the severity of this word. They're ill-educated, uneducated on this matter, and we're going to educate them on the third podcast on this regard. How they use it, what they say is bang out of order, man. Guys and women and husbands and wives, it's happening. So we're not. I don't want to come across as we're just looking at it from a male perspective. Females are struggling out there. They may want to marry someone. We live in the West.
Yeah.
We go to free mixed schools. We are, social media is a huge part of all of our lives. It's a big aspect. Maybe not Didi's because you would rarely on social media. He actually mentioned something in that regards, but social media is a big part of a lot of, especially your generation, Simba, and even in our generation, social media is a big part, and it's destroyed lives, it's made lives. It's everything. This social media is the world. A big part of the world and the makeup of the world that we live in, and people don't understand. People do not understand, and this is, women are going through struggles. There are women on social media who are sliding in and who are talking to guys and who want to find love. Mm-hmm. We all want to find this love. We all want to be happy. Nobody gets married without happy intentions unless they're forced.
That's true.
We all want to be happy in marriage. Nobody wants a sad marriage. Nobody wants a depressed marriage. Nobody wants a marriage which is, down. After 3 years, 4 years, 2 kids. How can your marriage break down after 4 years, man? You've had 15-year relationship. And all of a sudden it's broke down. What's caused that breakdown? Have you cheated on her? Has he cheated on you? There's hundreds of things. And women are being abused. Women are being tortured within marriage. They're being blackmailed. They're being emotional. It's true. It's happening. We can't just look at it from the man's perspective. There are sisters out there who are struggling deep, but they're stuck. Because of izzat, because of their father's name, because of this, they can't do. And they have no choice but to accept. And you know what? Respect and salute to those women. Yeah. No, a lot of women can do what they are going through. They're soldiers and they're struggling.
I heard a story like this 2 days ago about somebody who's stuck in a marriage like that woman. It's a close friend of ours whose cousin it is. And she's staying in it because of her dad. Her dad's izzat. She gets beaten up every day. She's got 2 kids.
That's bad, man.
And she's told her brother, and her brother was crying, and he goes, brother's obviously dying
and
to do something.
How can that father allow that? Damn your bloody respect in front of family, bro.
Like what Imam was saying, that
some of the words I can't even use here, but who gives
it's still happening.
Who cares about your respect in front of your brother and your sister and your grandmother and whatnot? Your daughter's getting beat up at home, bro.
It's true.
And he actually
you say you love your daughter and you're allowing her to get beat up.
He came here to ask, how can I get my sister or my cousin's sister out of it? It's a cousin who came to ask. He goes, how can I get out of it? Sharia wise and that.
Woman came to Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam and said, go ask for a separation. I've separated you. Khalas. It's finished. No woman deserves to be in an abused marriage and that. And get out of this cultural. It's culture. It's not religion. This is culture, not religion. What we're talking here. Yeah. Culture is forcing people to stay in marriage.
Yeah.
Culture is forcing marriage and forcing people to stay in marriage. Why? Why are you depriving? Allah created us so that we not to be to have this permanent attachment to this world, but everyone deserves happiness in the dunya.
It's true.
Internal peace and happiness. And that's not fair on these sisters that are out there. And who's talking about that? The domestic abuse and violence that these sisters go through and that.
It's true.
How they forced even prior, the sort of stuff guys do to girls and girls do to guys. To blackmail, to force them into marrying them and stuff. There's a lot of this happening out there, man. And it's wrong. It needs to be said that, a spade needs to be called a spade and that. It needs to be told and that this is wrong, bang out of order. Yeah. I don't understand how, there's people that will be sat on here and they'll say, oh, but there's guys who mess around and drug dealers and they lead girls on. Bro, you'd be surprised how many girls lead guys on.
Got a story for you. A few weeks ago, actually, I can't even say a few weeks ago, just say every 2 weeks or whatever, blah, blah, blah. This girl, I didn't know who she was. You know when you go on Instagram and they get someone wants to send a message to you, blah blah blah. Someone sent me a message, and she was just saying basically stuff that you shouldn't really say, whatever. And I go, maybe me, you know what? I'm not one of those to entertain them. Okay, I'm not like being a liar or anything, but I'm being genuine, right? And I said to her, I go, have you got no izzat for your own self, like your own body or whatever, blah blah blah? You got no respect for yourself. You got no respect for your family. What you doing? She's, I just need a bit of fun, blah blah blah. And I go, I thought I'd make her feel guilty about. I'll talk about Islam, you know what? Make her feel guilty. Yeah. She didn't care. She just kept going on and on. And I thought, you know what? You're a lost cause. And then you know what? She'll still pop up every so often, or whatever. And same thing.
Yeah, but we're not. What we're saying is that not only are women victims, guys are victims as well.
Yeah.
It's two way. It's not one way. People need to understand that it's not just guys
that's true.
And you know, I was labelled, you know, I target and womanize and bruv, come on, man. I don't need to target nobody. I'm a public figure. I'm a target. I'm not targeting anyone. Do you know what I mean? Womanizing and all they do is women. You know, in my regards, there was so much said in that sense, but it's not true. You know, let's be real on that. You're talking to a girl. She's consensually talking to you. Yes or no?
Yeah.
You're choosing to have that conversation with her. She's having it with you. Nobody forces nobody on social media.
Nope.
Nobody forces nobody in life unless you're there and a gun's put to your head and you're threatened and you're blackmailed. That's different.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the blackmail? Where's the threat? Who, you know, in what sense? You may speak to someone and say, I'm considering this person for marriage. And then later realize, you know what? We're not compatible.
Yeah.
And the girls feel, you know, hurt by the rejection. Oh, he led me on, but then, you know, he rejected me in the end. Well, maybe there was no compatibility there.
He was talking.
And the day you've considered, your intentions were marriage, you considered it, it didn't work out. Let it be.
Move on.
But it's when they get physical, I think, when they try to take the things to the next step, then they to come back and they say, oh yeah, you know what? We had our first date. Didn't like you now, bye.
Yeah. And it happens on both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
Guys and girls, it's not just one way. People need to understand that.
They shouldn't let it get to the first date stage then. People don't even care. They'll meet someone after one night of talking on social media. They're meeting the next morning for breakfast on pearls.
Yeah.
You know, it's true. The way they do that, man.
Yeah.
And you don't
so
even
we got to be real with these things and these
that's
issues and, you know, finding a spouse and the difficulties that people are going through in finding, you know, at each day, we could probably talk another 3-4 hours on this subject from every different
wedding
aspect.
Day yet.
You know what I mean? I've not even got to the wedding day. Like, we're not even saying like how it is, what's happening. You know, we're saying when it comes to spouse, that what's written for you will come to you. Don't stress if you've been rejected. Don't worry, things will be right. You are, you know, forced marriages are haram. They're not allowed. Build a relationship with your parents that you can bring to them, they can bring to you, and meet halfway.
Yeah.
Meet halfway. End of the day, she's making more sacrifice, I think, than you. She's having to leave her home to move into your home. So make your home comfortable for her.
Make your home home.
You know, make your home her home. Don't enforce that these are my rules and that. Nah, bruv. Be right with your wife, man. End of the day, she's your wife. She's your companion. She was not made from your feet. She was not made from your head. She was made from your rib. Meaning, woman was made from man's rib. Sayyidina Hawa was made from Sayyidina Adam's rib. Alayhi salam. Alayhum salam. You know, or radiyallahu anha. And there's a reason why she was made from the rib. It's symbolic to say that she's equal to you. She's made from half of you. A rib is a very important part because what does a rib do? It protects your heart.
Yes.
She's there to protect your heart. She has the key to your heart. She is the rib to your heart. Understand the role of a woman in your life. Do you know what I mean? The Prophet ﷺ said that a woman is like a crooked rib. If you try bending, it's going to crack. If you try straightening, it's going to crack.
Yeah.
There's a psychology. There's a psychology or a philosophy in the way you deal with women. Mm-hmm. Understand women.
Happy wife,
Stop
happy
trying
life.
to bend her to your way and straighten her. You know, you want to mold a woman. Do it with love. Do it with respect. Do it with honor. You ain't no man if you're going to force your way on a woman. You ain't no man.
True.
Can't wait to get married, man. She's going to be a lucky woman, I think.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
You know, really, like, honestly, man, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't understand how guys don't understand this.
It's true.
And understand the psyche of a woman, the psychology of a woman. women were made different to men.
Mm-hmm.
You know, women, physical makeup of a woman is different to a man. The attraction, the appeal in a woman, for example, when she goes on her menses, the cleansing or medically the way she's different. Her emotions, her hormones, you know, the emotional aspect of it is different. You know, women are emotionally different to men.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they say naqisul aql, you know, they're inferior in intellect. Not meaning that they're intellectually, you know, they're not clever. Some of the cleverest people to have set foot on this earth are women. Some of the greatest are women. There's no denying. We're not putting no woman down. All for feminism. 100%. According to what Islam has said. Yeah, 100%. We respect our women. We honor our women in that sense. But understand it.
Yeah.
Understand the psyche, the psychology of a woman before you marry her. How it is, accept this. She's going to have moody days. She's going to be on a downer. Maybe because she's on her menses. She's going to be emotional. These are things, these are parcel of life. We've got to accept this aspect of a woman. You know, and we've got to, and before making, you know, marrying someone, knowing who to marry, knowing why you're going to marry them, when it's agreed, you know, whether it's arranged, whether it's love, whether it's an arranged marriage or a love marriage. People are getting arranged. Hafiz Sabs was arranged.
Yes.
You should not be embarrassed to say I got married arranged.
I was going to say that at the start. That's another thing that a lot of people got a bit of a taboo of. I came into the mosque, IMAH, on the Monday after the wedding. And Imam Adil's class, one of the students, you might be watching, Ibrahim, if you're watching. I've just said your name. He goes, Hafiz Asad got arranged marriage, ha 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 ha. Hafiz Asad got arranged marriage, ha 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 ha. He's telling the other kids and they're like, oh, Ustaji didn't even marry on his own choice. Oh, he's got arranged marriage.
These are kids, bro.
These are the kids. That's the psyche, the 13, 14, these kids. I turn around and go, you know
mentality.
He goes, yeah, you got arranged marriage. I go, so what? His face just dropped. I go, Mappe. He goes, I didn't think you'd be Ustaji because he's arranged. I go, well, you don't know much then, do you?
This is the perception, isn't it? The
I
perception
changed his perception with just by saying to him, I am genuinely happy. He goes, oh, so he was arranged still, Ustaji. I go, yeah. He goes, oh, I thought arranged were like, you're getting forced into it. I go, no.
No, there's a difference between arranged and forced. Forced is you have no choice. Arranged is you've got a choice. Your mum's got a choice. The girl's got a choice. Her parents have got a choice. You've all agreed.
My
That's
mum
arranged.
all along has said to me, the last word is yours, Didi. The last word is yours, Didi. The last word is yours, Didi. I was never forced.
Ultimately, you're going to live your life with her.
Yeah.
She is your responsibility, not ours.
When I was being a bit of a teeth and dragging my feet, then my mum was saying, I'll say this, I'll be honest about myself. Then my mum was saying, listen, you're just being a teeth on purpose, now you're dragging. So I am going to choose for you if you're not going to choose yourself. Then that's fair as well when I look back at it. Because I was being a teeth on purpose, trying to get mum to move away, but mum saying, listen, I know what you're doing. So I'm just going to choose for you. So mum got me into a position where I was like, either I'm going to choose or you're going to take your own choice.
Nobody else would have done that.
Yeah,
if nobody ever put that pressure on Hafiz Saab to begin this aspect of his life, and marriage is a huge aspect and stage of a life. You know,
half your deen.
There's half your deen is in marriage. A
really
person's half your deen is completed through marriage. You know, the Prophet ﷺ said, marry and increase the ummah. Increase the ummah to having children, Muslim children, they'll grow up as Muslims. Increase the ummah. There's so many benefits of marriage. You know, you want to have children. Marriage is the divine legal method in order to have children is in marriage, not out of marriage. If you want to preserve lineages, get married. If you want to carry on your father's name and your name, get married. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you're not. It's severed. It's a severed lineage. The one who's has children out of wedlock. Wedlock is my sunnah. Whoever practices my sunnah, he's from. Whoever does not practice my فَمَنْ رَغِبَ عَنْ سُنَّتِي فَلَيْسَ مِنِّي. He's not from me. Get married. You know, and for some people, it's fard to get married.
Yeah.
If they fear the power of zina and stuff, it's fard, go get married. Yeah, you have to get married. For some people, it's wajib to get married. So for some people, it's sunnah to get married. It's sunnah. Most of us are in the sunnah category. For some people, it's makruh, it's disliked to get married. It's disliked. You know why? This guy's going to abuse his wife. He shouldn't be getting married. No woman should go through his abuse and that. Don't give him it. He's got a history of violence against women. Don't get him married. Do you understand? You know, sometimes it's haram for a man to get married. There's occasions. It's in the legal works. It's in the books of Islamic law. It's in the books of marriage. You know, Al-Fiqh al-Hanafi wa Adillatuhu or Al-Madhahib al-Arba'a. You know, there's books written on this subject. Our Islamic law, you know, the structure, the legal framework, Islam talks about every aspect, bro. Islam isn't just fasting and praying and worship. There's a huge bab called mu'amalat. Your dealings with people, whether that's dealings with the community, financial dealings, whether that's marriage dealings, whether that's divorce cases, whatever it may be, different aspects, will, after death, pre-death, all of this, Islam talks about every aspect. The Prophet ﷺ came to teach a way of life for people. And it's mentioned. So, you've got to understand and put yourself, where do I come in? And there's an age, okay, there's no age in the sense that we don't want to push people, but had we not put a bit of pressure on Afsab, he'd probably be a single man sat here right now. It was written, it was meant to be.
Yeah, true.
It was meant to be that he had to go through this marriage. Or he had to get married.
Yeah.
And marriage is a big part of every person's life. We all have to one day eventually settle down, marry someone, and spend our life with them. And when they say half your faith is complete,
Really is.
do you understand what that means? That's a huge part. It's not, it might take time to complete. It don't get complete overnight.
Yeah.
Because you've got to fulfill her rights to get that half. To feel half your iman. It's not just the sexual aspect of marriage that we should look forward to. It's the emotional, psychological, financial. You're going to go through the hell with this girl, bro. You're going to have tough and hard and difficult days. You better get ready. Marriage ain't a rosy ride. He's in honeymoon period now, is right. But tomorrow when they want to buy a house, when they want to move out, there's nothing wrong with girls wanting to move out of their homes.
No.
That's not a bad thing. I didn't mean to elaborate on, I didn't, mention this back when we mentioned this point about girls having this. That's not a bad thing.
No.
Sometimes it's good. You need space.
Yeah.
100%.
Give them their space. Whether it's the physical aspect, whether it's just emotionally, give them space. They're mature enough to carry the responsibilities of a home.
Yeah.
They can pay the mortgage. They can pay all of this. Give them that. No problem. Carry on. MashaAllah. Good. Get your parents' blessings and go. Don't just walk out on them. If they're old and elderly, don't leave your Jannah at home.
Yeah.
Take your Jannah with you. Don't deprive your life of this barakah. Keep this barakah close to you and that. There's plenty of that, my brother. Plenty of that. And people need to understand that. It's compromise. Compromise is a huge word in marriage. Compromise is a huge word. And pre-marriage, because it's pre-marriage talk tonight and tomorrow will be marriage. Compromise marriage, bro. Learn to understand that you're going into this, that it's going to be a 50-50 compromise, a partnership. One person is going to have to drive, but the other one next to them is going to have to guide them.
Yes.
It's going to have to be that tom-tom. You are all part of the same vehicle.
I can't drive as well, so I am the
Well,
tom-tom. I'm
he's-
automatically the tom-tom.
Well, in his case, literally, he's actually
gonna say
the passenger and his wife is the driver.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing.
I can't tie my
So what?
shoelaces as well, so what?
You been serious?
Yeah, but I can read Quran better than most of you are listening on you, so.
MashaAllah.
So it's priorities, in
Like that way.
it? But it's like, are you going to be asked about that on the day of Qiyamah? Could you tie your shoelaces?
It's true.
Come on, man.
I like that.
What's priority, though?
It's true.
Get your priorities right, man. You should want a woman, righteous woman, pious woman. You should want a righteous, pious woman and that. And you should look for the righteousness and piety. And righteousness and piety is not in clothing. Righteousness and piety is not in appearance. It's in at-taqwa hahuna. Righteousness, piety is here. It's your heart. Is the heart made of gold? Does she sit and backbite to you? Does she sit and lie to you? You see, if she's got that in her heart, that's not good for your state, man.
Nope.
Find someone who's pure-hearted, good, clean heart. And when you get that, marry that. Let your hearts connect. And, it's important that we understand this in many different aspects, bro. And people understand, young people who are watching this, is so important, so crucial and critical, that you understand marriage before you marry. Don't go into something unknown. Don't go into the, unknown wilderness, lacking knowledge. That's ignorance.
Yeah.
Have some education prior to taking that major step in your life. When you're ready, do it. And until then, that doesn't mean you can go and mess around with girls and do that. No, don't do that. If you're looking for someone to settle with, try it. Say, look, make your intentions clear. I'm considering you. And if it doesn't work, then say it didn't work out. Stop, feeling hurt by that. And then using it and saying, oh, he's a playboy and he's a Casanova and that. Nonsense, bruv. Nonsense.
All right, what would you say to this then? Say like if you made that intention, right? Say like, all right, I like this girl. I'm making that intention. Yeah, I like to get to know you. Blah blah blah. Marriage purposes. That girl goes, you know, no, I don't see it like that. I don't like it. But blah blah blah.
Yeah, move on. Bye. See you later, man. Waste any. You got a full life to live.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you,
some people don't. They can't move on as well.
They think they can't.
They're fixing that emotion.
Yeah, they're again stuck in the moment, innit?
Yeah.
It's like when somebody dies, like when my dad died or when Zain died. We spoke about the last podcast. You think you can't move forward or life's just gonna stop and the world's gonna stop. Or like what Samir's brother said, it just carries on, man. Things move.
Yeah.
Life goes on. You just learn how to live. We're humans. We learn to survive and adapt.
all these heartaches you go through and struggles and that, they're only there to make you stronger.
They're not real heartaches as well, you know, when a girl leaves.
You know, you feel it in the moment. In that moment, because of your attachment. It's attachment. Bro, if I had a dog for 5 years and it died, I'd feel the separation. That's an animal.
Yeah.
Attachment. We're humans. Our hearts, qalb. What does qalb mean? The Arabic word, it means it changes. Your heart's always changing. Qulub. Ya muqallib al-qulub. The changer of hearts. The one who moves the hearts changes. Your heart's always changing. Sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're sad. This is the kayfiyah. This is understand the psychology of the heart. Mans don't know what the heart is. They ain't got a heart. This heart is a piece of flesh. إذا صلحت صلحت البدن أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام إذا فسدت البدن. If ألا وهي القلب, there's a piece of mudgha, there's a piece of flesh in your body. If it's pure, if it's pristine, if it's cleansed, the whole body is pure, pristine, cleansed. If it's corrupted and it's got problems inside it, the whole body becomes problematic and there's corruption in there. And the Sahaba said, what is that piece of flesh? Said, Ala wa hiya al-qalb. Didn't say damagh. They didn't say it's your brain. They didn't say it's your private part. No. What is it? It's your qalb, your heart. This heart is your fortress. Protect it. If you let people in and it doesn't work out, your heart's changed, man. Tomorrow you'll find love and it'll be alright. In that moment you feel it, but that's your heart, man. This is understand the psychology of your heart. That's why they said don't get attached to the dunya.
Yeah.
The dunya has dunya. Don't let the dunya do your dunya. You've been done by the dunya. The dunya will do you like that. This is the dunya. It's the lowest of the low, man. Get out of this dunya. Don't think just in the dunya terms in this moment. And the heart feels that, bruv. And this heart, reserve this heart for that one person that you will open up to and everything. Think with your mind. The decision you will make as a young lad with your heart is different from the decision you'll make with your mind. Mm-hmm. Rationale, akal is in the mind, not in the heart. Philosophers debate this, whether it's Greek or Western or whatever it may be. But this is pure. Don't let this get corrupt. Sometimes your mind we're human, bro. There's a reason why Allah Almighty said in the Quran, oh, you who believe, lower your gazes. Why did Allah Almighty give this guidance? Lower your gaze. Mm-hmm. To the men first, then to the believing women. Because if you wonder with your gaze, when you look around, it will corrupt your heart. Yeah. Your heart, your eyes, your ears, all of these faculties are going back to when you like food. Why do you like food? Your stomach doesn't like it. Your stomach just gets bloated and big. And if it doesn't like it, it'll just let it out from the back passage. That's your stomach. But what likes food? When I ask you what's your favorite food, you're going to ask your mind and heart what your favorite food is. What did you enjoy? Oh, I enjoyed that dessert. I love that steak. Why Wagyu steak and that, bro. Do you understand? Yeah.
Podcast
it's your heart. Understand the heart. I could do a podcast just on the heart, boys.
Coming up.
But the psychology of the heart, man. Here, fix this, and everything fixes. Mm-hmm. And when we're saying fix this, what we're saying, take hatred, take hypocrisy, lying, all of these evil diseases, illnesses out of your heart. That's why there's a whole chapter in Islam that deals with just the heart. And that is, brothers, tasawwuf, the path of spirituality. The doctors of the heart, the Bishr Hafiz and the Junaid al-Baghdadis and the Abdul Qadir al-Ghaylanis and the, Abu Hamid al-Ghazalis and Sidi Ahmad Zuruq and all these Abu al-Hasan al-Shadhili and these great masters of the heart. These great awliya, these great Sufia worked on the heart. They fix this, my brother. This is everything, and this is you give to your wife. When you give, Allah puts rahmah and Allah puts love, mawadda. Mawadda is a type of love in the Quran. There's love has been mentioned, 5-6 different words have been used for love in the Quran. Mawadda is a love that Allah puts in between two. Mawaddatun wa rahmah. Wad is, Allah Almighty puts this love like between you and your mother and your father. It's a unique, natural love that Allah places, and this heart, man, don't get attached. Guys feel hurt because of attachment. Stop getting attached in these moments. Get out of these moments. Think with your mind. If it ain't going to work, if there's positives, negatives, look, every woman will have positives, negatives. Every man will have positives and negatives. If the positives outweigh the negatives, proceed.
Yes.
If the positives don't outweigh the negatives, politely reject. Just say, look, Ian, it's not going to work between us. Look, I've just thought about this. It's not happening. Would you marry a divorcee?
Me?
Yeah.
Again, it depends. With me, it's Islam as well. If she's on the deen, what more can you ask for? If she's good with your family, what more can you ask for?
Yeah, but what is deen then, innit? This is what I'm saying.
That's what I mean, yeah.
What is deen? Is deen like, you want to see her read the Tahajjud and read the Quran every day? Or is deen that she's got good character and a good heart? And
character's got to do with majority of Islam as well, to an extent.
All.
I mean, if you've got a good character, if the way you present yourself to a person, you know what?
The way you speak.
Exactly. You're doing more than what most people might do. Even if you might pick up the Quran once in a week or once in 2 weeks or whatever, but if you're carrying yourself in a respectful manner, respecting others, whatever, you're still doing a part in Islam as well. So you wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind.
I think the character is deen. A man came to the Prophet ﷺ and asked a question, Ya Rasulullah, mad deen, what is deen? And they said, husnul khuluq. It's having good character, good conduct.
Yeah.
Then he came and asked on the right, same question, on the left, same question, in front of him, same question. And on all 4 occasions, the answer was husnul khuluq. Your religion is your manners and character with people. And your character with people isn't what you do for them through your actions. Most of it is this piece of flesh between your jaw. That is everything, bro. How you talk to people, how you are with people. Character. If a woman's got a sweet tongue, she's sweet on her tongue, like she's nice, good character. MashaAllah. It's a beautiful trait to have. If a guy has that, it's a beautiful trait. You are not gangster by swearing, and you ain't a bad man because you can rap and you can do. Nah, I know that ain't character. That ain't good tongue. No. This, and it's very important, man. I think it's important, man, that when we look for a spouse, we look for good characters, man. And characters over time unravel. It doesn't say trustworthy and truthful on anyone's forehead.
Yeah.
The eyes can deceive. It's all in the eyes, Chico. It's in the eye. What did he say? Tony said.
It's all in the eyes, Chico.
Chico is all in the eyes, and that, man.
It's all in the eyes.
So, we've got to understand, and finding a spouse is very important. There's many aspects to it. There's many dimensions to this discussion, bro. We've touched a lot of dimensions. And, it's important, and we can continue. If you want to continue, we can stop. If you want to stop.
Didi spoke today, by the way, people.
Yeah, I told him he's got to speak today because Simba's new on the cast and that.
There you go.
So, co-host has to step up because Soldier Was is not here, though. I think he's watching from Pakistan.
I hope he is.
He's actually put a comment in saying, I'm on the look for finding your wife, Imam. Don't worry. In Pakistan.
He's already got there, mate. Soldiers.
And please, guys, please, I beg you, do not make these rumors up now.
Competition.
Oh, because of what's happening in the UK, he has to force himself to get married in Pakistan. Please, that is not the case.
And Soldier hasn't gone there to really look for a wife.
Don't make me prove everyone wrong and marry someone from here because it's not difficult. Please.
There you go, guys. You heard it first.
And I don't think it's... I'm going back to the question, marrying a divorcee is not a bad thing. Divorcee with children.
Again, from my perspective, I'm young, so I can't
What about your parents? What would they say? Has your mum ever mentioned it?
That would be a tough one, no. That would be a tough one. I've never mentioned it myself. They've never mentioned it. My parents are not one of those to judge and question whatever. Again, like yours... Whatever your happiness is, their happiness as well. Likewise, our parents. Again, we're fortunate to have parents like that. Some people don't have that quality
relationship.
I don't know. They might have 1 or 2 quarrels about it, but we just get on board. Well, I hope to do. Well,
we will do now.
I'll tell you a personal story in my case, and that there's been a few scenarios where I've actually mentioned to my mum, look, there's so and so that's been mentioned. A proposal has come forward, and got a daughter, got a couple of kids, etc. For example, and my mum said, if you're happy, do it. But then she's also made this point clear that, look, bringing someone else's children up in my home, it sounds bad. It sounds really bad.
But if you think about
somebody
it's really
else's
true.
children.
If you think about what you're gonna say, it's actually very true though.
But what do you mean?
Like what you're gonna say, I think.
My mum says, but
what you said, it sounds bad, but it's actually very, very true.
But
though.
it's somebody else's children in the day.
Yeah.
Will you accept somebody else's children as your own? Do you have the heart big enough to do that? Do you have the capacity? Now, not a lot of guys can do that. Not a lot of women will do that. Would a woman
I think a woman would do more than a guy.
A man? I don't know, man.
I feel like they would more.
I don't think they
more
would.
so than
They'd want their own children.
Yeah, women are the jealous. I don't mean this in a bad way, by the way. Disclaimer.
We're not stigmatizing.
Yeah, I'm not stigmatizing nothing here.
We have to put everything in disclaimer.
I'm just saying, generally, women are a bit more jealous than men, or possessive than men.
Yeah,
they are more.
It's a trait in it. It's women. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I don't mean in a bad. I just mean generally.
Woman has the right to have exclusivity to a man. That's a right and privilege that they have. If they choose to allow that to be shared, you can get married a second or third time.
Which I don't.
Islam doesn't prohibit that. If Islam hasn't prohibited it, who's anyone to do that?
That's true.
Just to mention that. But in my case, then, when I did mention, my father was alive at that time as well, and they said, look, I'll be honest with you. Buy a house. You can live there with them. And that's it. And for me, maybe that was my mum's way of saying, look, I'm not happy. Without saying no. But I'll tell you straight, I cannot leave my mum and dad.
Likewise.
And my dad's passed away now. I'll tell you straight, I cannot leave my mum at all now. My brothers, nobody willingly wants to leave any mother.
I'm chilling.
But me, even if my mum kicked me out, even we don't know what tomorrow holds, whatever happens.
You'd force your way back.
My mum is everything in my world. I'll tell you straight. She means the world and over. She's my Jannah on this dunya and that. And I ask Allah to make me dutiful and obedient to her at all times. And I couldn't compromise that principle for me. Hence why I would probably say no. I probably couldn't do that. Marry a divorcee? Yes.
With kids though.
With kids, I don't mean it in a crude way, but my circumstances wouldn't allow it.
Yeah.
The situation I'm in. That doesn't mean there's a guy out there who would. There might be someone out there who would accept that.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing, and I respect that. My auntie got married to a man who accepted her children.
3 of them.
3 of them.
And he bought them up.
Absolutely respect and rated to that guy. I said to my mum, he's done what I think a lot of men can't do. Respect rated. And he's given my auntie a good life. A content life.
That was Zain's dad, but
Zain's stepdad.
Okay. And he was there for Zain. Like, he didn't have to be. And
that's not his produce, is it?
That guy used to sleep in the hospital and tell my auntie to go home, and he'd say,
respect.
I'm look after him. He's my son.
To that uncle of mine, respect.
Bless him.
But who does that today, man? There's not a lot of guys who will do that. And those who do, absolute rated. But those who don't, it's not a bad thing. Please don't frown and another stereotype. Please stop looking at women who have been divorced as a bad thing, man. Tomorrow it could be your daughter. Tomorrow it could be your sister. I know guys who did that and their sisters today are in that position. Get out of this vicious cultural backward mentality and that. It's not. It didn't work out in life. Be compassionate, be sympathetic towards that. You respect that, and may Allah Almighty make it easy for those sisters, bro. May Allah make it easy for them, because it's a struggle, it's hard. Single parent bringing up a child is not easy, man. It's not easy, man. In this day and age, in this world that we live in, it's a cruel world, bro. Cruel world.
I know drug dealers who are married women who think they're big men on the street and they can't even look after them, and they're giving them kids, they can't even look after that kid now. I know them kind of mans who are big mans on the street, they're drug dealers on the street, they've married women and they've run away from the house. What kind of man are you then? But he'll be the same guy who's giving speeches in the streets to man saying, I'm a big man, I got this much G's in my pocket, this, that, but your daughter's at home starving. She ain't got nothing, she ain't got no clothes on her back. Your wife's at home working 7 days a week, but you're out.
She's having to put food on table,
Yeah,
but
you're
you're out
dealing with-
grafting
you're a
and you
big
ain't got
man.
time. You can't
You're
take
no big man, you're a
responsibility.
joke.
Marriage is a responsibility, guys.
Yeah.
Marriage is a huge responsibility.
That's what I mean.
Be in a position to be able to do that. If you can't, don't get married yet.
That's when it comes back to that first point we first made about youngsters of my generation finding that person. You know what? They've had that mentality.
Irresponsible.
Yeah, irresponsible. They don't have that izzat there or that dab there to go, you know what? All right, I'm in a commitment now. No more fooling around. No more being an idiot, being stupid.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah,
don't be boring. No sense be
You're
boring.
character, innit?
But don't be stupid. You've got responsibilities there. Don't go, like you said, be a big man and she going to little kids. Yeah, I got this many racks in my pocket. I got this many bags. You know what? You're going to be like me. You know what? I'll teach you, whatever.
What are you gonna teach him, Jack?
Exactly. And then you got people at home that are be suffering because you're out there doing stupid things. I mean, but then again, that comes back to the point that, you know what, we have to come to a realization. Like me personally, if a girl goes for a guy like that, I've always said that why am I gonna be a second choice, or why am I gonna back up? If I'm not like that, why are you gonna treat me like that? And vice versa for a girl. Say like if same thing for a girl. If a guy's going for someone blah blah, and then they want a Saudi girl that's alhamdulillah like perfect, they got the same right as me to say, you know what, why are we always second choice? It's wrong. You put yourself in that boat. Go in that boat now.
Sail now.
Yeah.
Learn to
Fair
survive.
point that drug dealers want Saudi girls to money.
Afterwards,
So they
after
can
doing that
emotionally
Jaska,
abuse and control.
Good point that was.
after doing that Jaska Maska, they'll go and
Very
they'll
true,
find the innocent girls. And you know what?
No, even before the Chaska Maska, the intention is that I'm going to marry an innocent girl.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do the Chaska Maska with the
Yeah.
Korean, the non-Muslims, unfortunately. I'm speaking for
Oh,
Muslims,
you know, like,
okay.
you know, I'm
Because
not a
it's not
virgin,
their
but my
religion.
wife has to be a virgin.
Yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
disgusting.
Exactly.
So
That's
you-
not necessary. That's not the rule. That's not the grain. If anything, the Prophet ﷺ said the opposite to that mentality. You know, they said the opposite to that mentality. And they said that it's better for you to marry someone. The Prophet ﷺ encouraged to marry a woman who's virgin, younger than you in that sense. Why? Because there's great wisdom behind why Nabi ﷺ said that. But that doesn't mean that you can't marry someone who's non-virgin. Bikr and thayyib. These are the Arabic terms used. And thayyib is a woman who's been married previously, or who has been in, you know, a relationship, for example. You know, it's not a bad thing. This is a sick mentality to have.
It's true.
And we shouldn't look at that, because maybe they were in a halal relationship and that happened. Respect that.
Yeah.
I mean, if a sister rejects me and I've been rejected because I've been married before, divorced, you think only females get rejected because they've divorced? Bro, I'm a divorcee.
Yeah.
I'm a male divorcee and I've been rejected because of a previous marriage. It happens. And they have the right to reject, and somebody out there will accept that. Somebody out there will say, yeah, I'm content with that.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing, bro. That's not a bad thing. And we need to stop this
Once they
this
get past
sick
that
mentality of, it's culture, innit? It's society, innit? Are we religious, or are we cultural? Are we secular? Are we, you know, Western? Are we liberal? What are we? What identity are you? I'm a liberal Muslim. I'm a secular Muslim. You know, I'm a Western Muslim. I'm just a religious Muslim. I'm a Muslim as Muslim should be.
Yeah.
The society I live in is liberal. The society I live in is secular. The society I live in is capitalist. But that's not me. I might live in that society. The Prophet ﷺ lived in a society that was against Islam. Eventually, if it's too hard, migrate.
Yeah.
Go find somewhere where you're accepted. And that's just life. If you're not accepted by that girl, or that guy's not accepting you, migrate.
Yeah.
Migration, not literally, but
Move, yeah.
you know,
Move on.
Metaphorically.
metaphorically move on from this now.
Figuratively speaking.
Find another one. And that's it. This is life, man. These are lessons you learn from the seerah. These are lessons you learn from the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nabi alayhi salatu married Sayyidah Aisha, who hadn't been married before. They married Sayyidah Khadija, who had been previously married. They married women who were widowed. You know, they married their best friends' daughters.
Yeah.
Sayyidah Hafsa and Sayyidah Aisha were their best friends' daughters. You know, Nabi alayhi salatu married their daughters to their best friends.
Yes.
Sayyidina Uthman and Sayyidina Ali. The Prophet ﷺ's life example in many aspects, the Sunnah. Nabi ﷺ accepted another woman's children. They didn't frown on that. They didn't, because they're teaching us. We shouldn't have that mentality. Islam it's not about that. It's not about that. And be good and find righteous spouses and ask Allah. What did Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam say? There's no greater thing in this dunya a man can be given than a righteous woman. Az-zawja salihah. Righteousness, salih. Salih means what? Righteous in action and word and in worship.
Yeah.
Is righteous in every aspect, bro. So, it's not a bad thing to marry a divorcee with children. It's not a bad thing to marry a divorcee. It's not a bad thing to marry a widow. I'd marry a widow. Why wouldn't you?
I wouldn't. Wouldn't marry anyone now.
Well, she's listening, innit?
I don't know if she is. Are you?
But she did say to us, make sure it's quick.
Oh,
Not knowing that it's going to be a long
yeah,
podcast.
Man, there you go. I'm slouching now.
Do you know what I mean? But it's important, man. And this, discussion, I think will continue tomorrow.
Inshallah.
There's many different aspects. I mean, we'll talk about wedding day tomorrow. We'll start from the wedding day. Let's just put ourselves, we're married now. What's our wedding day like going to be? and there's so many stereotypes about the wedding day and then in marriage. And for that, we're going to have Imam Adil on with Afaz Sab. And today, we got insightful look into the life of the younger generation in Simba, who has, naturally many proposals. His mum, dad, they must get. And I think it's been an education for him, education for me, education for all of us.
All of us, yeah.
I want to get married now.
In many aspects. And let's not be fooled by half my faith is complete.
Yeah.
It can very easily be complete and then incomplete when it divorces.
Yeah, very quick.
I've been there as well. So, it's many aspects, bro. It's many things.
You've got to preserve it once it's half's been complete.
And it's responsibility and rights that you need to understand of your spouse. Respect that, honor that, educate yourself in that. If you're going through problems, struggles, we wanted to get a marriage counselor on here, somebody who's got real life who's dealt with real life issues and problems. And to many, in many aspects, I'm actually a marriage counselor. Why? Because there's people who come to me
That's true.
and ask for marriage advice. My inbox filled with people who are struggling with marriage issues, who are going through marriage problems, and how do they maintain that marriage? How do they preserve their marriage life? And people who have become victim to the word talaq and have uttered it and said, well, what do I do next? Where do I go next?
Yeah.
What happens next? So there's a lot of that happening, and we've got so much experience in dealing with these issues. A lot of all imams in every community, in every city where there's Muslims, will deal with these issues. These are people turn to us for guidance on these matters. That's what our job is, having studied the guidance within the books given by Allah and His Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam and the ulama. So it's very important. And I just want to say, if anyone's been offended by what we've said, please do accept our apology. We have no intentions of offending. This is just, it was an open, raw, uncut talk. I mean, I let a bit of emotion out again, and I'm an emotional guy. I'll be straight with you.
We showed you that, man. End of the day.
I'm not scared of saying I cry, man. I used to.
Tupac said real men cry.
I tell you straight, man. I'm not going to lie to you. I used to cry a lot more, man. May Allah put that fear in our hearts again and bring that righteousness back to us. And I used to cry loads before, but, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm stone-hearted now. Maybe life's made us a bit cold. But we still feel, the pain and the struggles we've gone through in life and stuff. And, there's a lot being said. So we do apologize if anyone's been offended. But we say as it is. That's the whole point of Let's Talk with IMAH. It's just raw, uncut discussion live with our viewers. Please subscribe to this channel. Please share this podcast that we've done tonight with your friends. There's so much aspect of it. And tell them every aspect of it has been good. There's been interesting discussions, insights, look into, our understandings, mentalities, etc., etc. And, if somebody's recommended a spouse for you, consider it. If you found somebody via social media, which happens, and you've met and your parents are, get parents' involvement in straight away. Let the parents, see that involvement and allow that. And then when you've done that, it's good. Inshallah, there'll be khair, there'll be barakah in it, and things will get better and they'll improve. And, inshallah, things may Allah Almighty allow those who don't have spouses, may Allah give them righteous spouses.
Ameen.
Those who have spouses, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put barakah in their marriages.
Ameen.
Those who don't have children, Allah give them children
Ameen.
within their marriages. And those who are going through difficulties and turbulence in their marriage, may Allah make it easy for them.
Ameen.
May Allah allow and give them the best exit or best way of dealing with that according to the Quran and Sunnah. May Allah make us worthy of helping people, assisting people.
Ameen.
And we should, sincerely and all the time do istighfar and ask Allah for forgiveness. No one, when we say no one can judge us, we mean in terms of this aspect, that we are only accountable to Allah Almighty. And people can hold we can hold people accountable as well. But, we do istighfar, we ask Allah for forgiveness and mercy. And thank you very much, Didi. You were great tonight. Mashallah, probably the best podcast we've heard. A lot of insight into your struggles, and dare I say, there's a grey hair in your beard.
There's 4
grey hairs in his beard, and he's just been married a week.
before marriage, all before marriage.
I
It
forgot.
wasn't because of you, all yes, all before marriage.
Yeah, and me, I ain't got a single grey hair in my beard.
Mashallah.
Exactly.
You-
Look at that.
Bruv, you're fresh in that, man. You need a haircut. Barbers are still open again.
I'm growing my hair out. I wouldn't grow out. I went bald about a month ago.
Yeah, I remember.
Michael
Yeah.
Scofield look.
No, you know what? I just I thought I've been
Sunnah.
yeah. Let's just go with that.
Astaghfirullah.
Let's just go with that. Not
Why not?
not because Ronaldo hinted at it, but you know what? Yeah, so I wouldn't grow my hair out.
It was because of Ronaldo, innit?
You know what? I've always tried on the idea, and I've always said it to people.
It's because
you
of
know what?
Ronaldo.
Listen,
I've seen his hairstyle recently. Obviously, I'm a Juventus fan, innit? So
tomato, innit? You know what?
Who
Ronaldo
cares?
copied me. Ronaldo copied
If
me.
you
We'll just
want
go
to
with
be
that
bold,
one.
bro, good on you.
most followed.
I wanna
If
go
you want to
again.
grow your hair again, good on you. lad.
Do
Just
what
make
makes
sure
you
it's
happy.
right. Make sure it's right.
Guys,
by
you
the
hear that?
religion, by the deen. That's what we're governed by. Go back to that, and everything's
Sure.
all right. And thank you very much, Simba, for coming on.
Sir.
You've been a
My pleasure. my
you've been a
pleasure.
pleasure, guys. If you've enjoyed Simba, thumbs up for him. If you want him back on, let me know. And I'm looking at the phone, but the battery's dead. I'm meant to be looking at the screen. But yeah, thank you very much. You've been a pleasure, guy.
My pleasure, and thank you for
bro,
calling me
coming
on,
on
guys.
Yeah.
Honestly,
and
I
you guys have
appreciate
been good. And we will continue this discussion tomorrow night at the same time, 9:30 p.m. Let's hope there's no sound issues and technical problems in that aspect, and everything is on point. We will be joined by Imam Adil. Please subscribe. Please share this podcast and let people get on and join us and benefit and learn and study and be inspired and educated and chilled and in everything else about this podcast that we offer. Let them have that, and pray for me that I find a good spouse, righteous spouse, and Allah make it easy. And
Inshallah.
I just want to make my mum happy. If she's happy, then I'm happy, and that's the most important thing. My life is
Inshallah.
my mum in many ways now, and may Allah give my father Jannah as well and make it easy for him. And guys, we will see you tomorrow night. So stay tuned. Please share. It'll be really interesting tomorrow because you know what? We've got Imam Adil on, and he
Crowd
is
favourite.
fireworks.
Crowd favorite.
The crowd favorite will return, and he is going to be fireworks. He's going to add so much insight into the discussion. His married life, maybe he might open up. I don't know. He probably won't. Knowing Imam Adil is a very reserved guy, but he's got a vast amount of experience.
Well, I'm not gonna
saying
me to
that.
open up that much.
He's
I
not,
don't open up
he's
all
not
them.
married 2 or 3 times. He's not. I don't even want to say it, not that we know of, because I know he's not. He might just kill me for saying that, and my sister-in-law might be saying, "Hey, what you doing? You forget this." But he's got 2 beautiful girls. Wow.
Mashallah.
My nieces, one's got green eyes, man.
Mashallah.
Yeah.
And Imam Adil, he's alright looking. His missus is alright looking as well. But wow, his daughters are beautiful. One looks like Imam Adil, one looks like his missus. But she's got green eyes, brown hair, it's like a Turkish girl. But mashallah, Allah gives,
Inshallah.
to whom He wills,
Should be.
how He wills, and she's beautiful, and may they grow up to be righteous.
Inshallah.
My little
Allah.
nieces,
Inshallah.
beautiful, make them become hafiz of the Quran, the alimas of the deen.
Inshallah.
The father's on this path, certainly He'll put him on the same path, and we'll ask him tomorrow what he thinks, where he wants to take him. So Imam Adil, he's going to join us tomorrow. I can't wait to have him on, and you know what, I might even get Simba back on tomorrow. We'll make it a 4-way panel. He can join us and sit in and maybe add some insight onto how he wants to have his wedding day. Does he want to hide the Lambos and the Ferraris and make a statement that, yeah, I'm a bad man, I've just spent my dad's savings on cars?
You know what? I've actually got one thing in my mind. I tell my uncle about it the other day. If you want me to share it quickly, I'll share it.
Yeah, go on. If you do it, then tomorrow you're not coming.
Alright. Alright, I'll share it.
Go. I'm only messing. You.
Basically, I was talking to my uncle yesterday. No, yesterday, a few days ago. And I go, you know what? One thing I want to do over anything, I don't care about cars, whatever. I want my grandma to be at my wedding. I want my grandma to see me have children and to watch them grow up as well. That's one thing I dream about. That's for marriage. That's one thing.
So that's more sentimental to you than having your favorite car at your wedding.
Yeah. That
fireworks, drums.
I don't care about that. My grandma's like my second mom. I genuinely love her to bits. You know what? That's one thing.
That's sweet.
One thing I want there.
That's so sweet, man. And that's a good thing, man. There's kids out there who actually want to spend their dad's savings on cars and that.
True.
And fireworks, and they were in big lavish halls, wedding halls, and want to wear £2,000 sherwanis and hire them out and give them back, and they'll do anything. I mean, it's not a bad thing. If you're rich and a millionaire and you're doing it, you must do it because you're on that level. You can do it. You got the money, but you should look at your budget, look at how much is in your pocket, and accordingly go with that.
Yeah.
But we'll look at that tomorrow. We'll add that tomorrow, guys. Thank you very much. You've been a pleasure, absolute pleasure. Thanks, guys. You guys have been great as well today or tonight. And we'll see you tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. Same place. Let's Talk with IMAH on YouTube. Share, subscribe, like, and see you tomorrow night.